Yeah. DJ.
For all my ladies out there trucking towards they goals. Let's go. She gon' take care of her biz, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking. She gon' take care of her kids, she trucking, yeah. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. Often hated, never duplicated. We underestimate it cause it's male dominated, but we getting payment like it's money motivated. Our clientele rated while they dragging, we gon' slay it.
Get strong.
When they say what the church look like, it look like us.
Yeah. DJ Tony.
For all my ladies out there trucking towards they goals. Let's go. She gon' take care of her biz, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking. She gon' take care of her kids, she trucking, yeah. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking, she trucking. Often hated, never duplicated. We underestimate it cause it's male dominated, but we getting payment like it's money motivated. Our clientele rated while they dragging, we gon' slay it. By the hour, we them girls and we got power. Haters everywhere like some patches, they be sour. Dropping lows on the road and we be runners. You can never do it like us and that's a bummer. They got my back so I got my girls with me. I can't be like you cause the shoes just won't fit me. All these moves and we make it all happen. We just show and prove while the rest of y'all rapping. Clocking in and making ends, running racks up. Focus like the lens, we don't focus on the trends, nah. Like a truck is pulling in, told them back up. Focus and pretend we don't notice who they is. She gon' take care of her biz, she trucking, she trucking. She a woman with a rig, she trucking, she trucking. She gon' take care of her kids, she trucking, yeah. She a boss, she do it big, she trucking, she trucking.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the She Trucking Podcast. And I am one of the hosts, Dr. Tina J. Ramsey from CTR Media Network. And today we have something amazing, something phenomenal that never has been done before. And what is it? We have 10 phenomenal women in trucking in celebration of the Women's International Month, okay? And so we're bringing some of the best in the trucking industry because for some reason or another, you don't think we exist up in the trucking industry. But we're bringing some women that's going to tell you all about their journey and starting us off. We couldn't do this without the lady of the hour. Yes, the amazing, the phenomenal Sheree Moore of She Trucking. She is the founder and CEO of She Trucking, and she is leading 30,000 women and minorities to help you be successful in the trucking and transportation industry. And today we're going to bring her on. It is my honor to be able to interview her along with introducing to all of you some of the best of what we have to offer in our She Trucking community. So without further ado, let me bring on the amazing, the epic Sheree Moore. How are you?
Hello. Listen, like Dr. Tina say, hello, everybody.
Yes. And as you can see, I have on my vintage representing She Trucking and the foundation people.
Absolutely.
And so excited. So I'm happy to be here with you on today, along with celebrating International Women's Month in trucking, having this all-female panel of so many phenomenal women. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a part of our community. Thank you for keeping our voices heard through media. You came in our community back in 2018 and just came in with empowering our women in our community. And we're so grateful to have you and CTR Media Network to give us this platform. I just want to say, She Trucking Mission, we are committed to helping women and minorities maintain successful careers in the trucking industry through mentorship. So the things that we have we have so many women in the industry who literally help one another right in our community. We leave no women behind, and we do so many amazing things. And I'm so excited to bring to you, as Dr. Tina said, 10 phenomenal women in trucking. And Dr. Tina, will you introduce our ladies that we have on the panel tonight?
Yes, I will. First up, I'm going to go in the order in which I see it. We have the amazing Bree in the building. Yes, welcome to the panel. We have Melinda in the building. She already ready with her headset. She don't play. She came in ready. Then we have one of our moderators that's on the She Trucking team, Cindy in the building.
Hey.
Yes, we have Teresa in the building.
Good evening.
We have Ashley in the house. All right. We have our lead administrator for She Trucking, Shayna, in the building. All right, let me see. We have a lot going on. So I might have to pull myself out and so that you can actually introduce the next person. Okay. Then we have the woman who keep God first, help us keep the good stuff on our mind when it's not that easy. We have Mona in the building to keep us going. And we have Ray in the building. And we have the phenomenal Renee. So, ladies, thank you so much for being here. And as you can see, we have some of our female truckers that are actually on the road. This is the real deal. And we have some that are actually home, which they usually don't be home that often. So we're so happy that they came and gave us some of their time, because it's few and far in between. You get some time off to yourself. So we're just so happy to be here with all of you today, to be introducing you. And so, ladies, I'm going to start first of all with.
I don't know, Dr. Tina sound okay. So Dr. Tina, I lost you, but it's okay. So listen, before we get started, I want y'all to introduce yourself one by one. Tell them who you are, where you from, what you haul. What you pulling back there? You pulling that 53-foot trailer with that refrigerator? Whatever you're doing in this industry, I want you to tell our audience today, and we're going to bring you up one by one, okay? Are you ready? Miss Teresa, I'm going to start with you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Teresa King. I pull a little bit of everything because right now I'm doing drive away. So I've pulled a reefer, I've pulled a dry van. I've pulled a dry van with liquid in it, so it moves like a tank. I've moved a crane, I've moved garbage trucks. So a little bit of everything, I've pulled it.
Awesome. Welcome. And thank you so much for being here. Miss Cindy, I'm going to you next.
Hey. I am so glad to be here. I'm a part of the She Trucking community, and I absolutely love it. It's just so fun to be here, and thanks for having us on here. I actually drive a 26-foot box truck. I do not have my CDL, but I love trucking. I love the industry. I started getting into it and studying about it in 2019, and I got my MC authority in 2020, and I'm just starting my 3-year anniversary in trucking, and I love it. I'm having a great time, and I'm honored to be here with you all. I'm excited to hear everybody's stories.
And Miss Mona, now that you're stopped, we just got to start this really all out with prayer. We got to put God in this. And so I want you to introduce yourself, if you'll unmute your mic, and introduce yourself. Okay, so we'll come back to you, Miss Mona. Let me go ahead and introduce Shauna.
Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be here on this She Trucking podcast, the International Women's Month. Of course, I had to be in the place to be. But my name is Shauna Sellers. I
Okay.
am the Street Trucking lead admin in the community. I am also a driver. I am a professional driver of almost 9 years. I haul 53 footers only, and also hauling hazardous material loads. I am doing drive-in. I am a mother of two grown men, and I'm also a grandmother of four grandsons. I am also the CEO and founder of Have Faith in Fashion, which is an online boutique that I have, and I'm also the CEO and founder of So Fashionable Fit Chick, which is a gym apparel website that you can find online as well. Um, I just love, love, love it here. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, and I'm glad you all are here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as Shauna mentioned, it is International Women's Month. And so happy International Women's Month, ladies. Now, as you speak and introduce yourself, I want you to unmute your mic. So I'm going to Miss Bree. Wait, unmute your.
Okay, are we good now?
Yes.
Okay. Hi y'all, it's Bree. I am a driver. I haul refrigerated freight, drive-in. I have experience doing pretty much that, although I do have my tanker and doubles and triple endorsements. And I passed the hazmat test, but I was too afraid to get it at the time. One of my goals is to go back and get that one day. That's definitely a goal of mine. I've been driving 3.5 years now, and I love what I do. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be out here because this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity, and I took it, and it changed the rest of my life forever. I'm so happy about being able to have enough courage to actually do that because once I did it, and I'm out here now. There is no going back. Okay, we are out here. I'm out here. I might not be the most qualified. I might not be the most I might not do too much, but it means something to me, and it means something to everybody else. It's not just about me. It's bigger. I'm more important than just me. So that's just a little bit about what I do and what I have going on.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna go to Miss Ashley next.
Hello, everyone. I am Ashley. I just recently got my CDL in July, so I am a rookie. I've been on this roller coaster of a ride trying to find a local position, which everyone knows when you first get your CDL, it's kind of hard to really find a local job because you don't really have experience. And my experience was basically driving school buses for 5.5 years, and I was just recently hired by the post office, so I will be hauling mail from terminal to terminal, from plant to plant. Hopefully, one day I'll be able to get more experience. That way, I can, put my foot out there and, start driving. Well, I'm hired at the post office, so I will get that experience with that. But yeah, so I'm a rookie. I can't wait to tell my story of my little experience that I had a couple of months ago. That way, uh, other newbies can see the things that I went through, and that way they can be able to make a better decision as far as what they want to do.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, as you know, you may not know, but my mom was a bus driver, so I'm gonna ask you some Class B questions because there's somebody right now that's saying, I might want to try to drive a bus. So next. Who want to go next? Miss Melinda. Unmute your mic.
There we go. Hello, I'm Melinda. I've been driving for 4 years, and the past 6 months, I've been a new lease operator. So that's learning a whole
Oh,
new avenue. Um, About 2.5 years into trucking, I actually got diagnosed with pre-diabetes, and I was able to go to health coaching school, and I got certified as a health and life coach. And I tweaked all the tools so I could lose 68 pounds while I drove over 125,000 miles in 1 year. And I lost my pre-diabetes diagnosis.
Wow.
Awesome. Amen. Wow.
So,
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mm.
Listen, we was back here in the background clapping, y'all. So make sure y'all show some love in the comments, like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Make sure you liking this. Make sure you share it out. And thank you all for who's watching. Next, I'm gonna go to Miss Ray. Oh, wait. Hold on, Miss Ray. I'm so sorry. There you go.
Oh, hello everybody. My name is Ray. I've only been trucking for 2 months, so I'm still in training with my trainer, and she's phenomenal, by the way. It took me years to be able to do this. I've always been a caregiver for everybody in my family, and I was finally able to get into it after my mom passed back at the beginning of 2020. This is extremely life-changing for me. It's important. I've been homeless. I wasn't as excited getting my college degrees as I was getting my CDL license. And it's just been an amazing experience so far. And I know I made the right decision. God granted me favor on this, definitely.
Wow, thank you so much. Your story has, we're going to get into that because I've met a lot of women who share the story, that same story with you. Listen, y'all better share this now. This is going to be good. And last but not least, let me make sure that I get everybody. I want to bring on Miss Mona, Chaplain Mona, that is.
Hey, maybe I can talk now. I told you I didn't know anything about this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sheree, Trucking Angels for Christ. I'm from Trucking Angels from Christ, Sheree, and I had met many years ago, and we have connected, and I just love her dearly. And she is doing such an amazing job with all of these ladies. And so please, anytime you get a chance to watch her live feeds or her podcast, make sure that you take notes down because there's so much to learn. And I want to welcome all the ladies on here tonight, the ones that are just starting out on this journey and the ones that are going to be continuing on the journey. I'm excited to hear what God is going to do in your life. I know he has done a lot with me. Out here 35 years off and on. That's a long time. I am a pioneer trucker. There wasn't no women truckers out here when I started, very far and few. And so listen, you guys, when you crank them trucks up, put God first. That is what matters in your journey, and he will see you through all the situations, all the struggles and things that you may encounter on your journey. For those that just started a couple of months or the ones that have been out here 15 years or whatever, always make sure you pray before you start that truck. So I'm going to go ahead and pray us in because I'm excited to hear what the ladies are going to be sharing tonight. So, dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you so much for this opportunity to connect with these fantastic, beautiful women. Father God, you have such an amazing plan for their lives, Lord. And I just ask that you will touch each and every one of them in the sound of my voice and those that go through this line, Lord. I just thank you for what you're going to do. Protect them, Lord. Give them the peace and comfort tonight as they bring forth their story and answer the questions, Father. And Lord, we just praise you and we just thank you and glorify you for what's to come. The best is yet to come, and we just know we're going to have to put our seatbelts on and grab on tight, because I know that you're going to expand people's businesses, the entrepreneurs, Father God. You're going to show them ways where there's no ways, the new truckers that are coming out here and the ones that are leaving to do something else. Lord, I can't wait to see your hand move. Hallelujah. And so I just give this over to you tonight, and I thank you, Father God. In your precious name we ask. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Ooh,
Thank
glory.
you. And last but not least, we have Miss Renee. If you can unmute your mic and come on up on the.
I hope y'all can hear me. Hi, I'm Renee, and I've been in the business about 2.5 years. June, like others have said, I did experience homelessness, and I was struggling a lot before I got in this industry as a single mom of 2 daughters. And I do have college degrees and everything. It just was really hard to find an industry or work that would pay like what I felt like I was worth, and also just have a passion for driving. So it just felt like a natural fit, and it really was. I currently am driving an 18-wheeler. I'm a company driver, so I'm not like a lease operator, owner operator yet, but I would like to learn and continue on if possible, just learning everything I possibly can from this industry. Since I've been on the road, I've been like a seminary student, and I did publish a book in 2017 called How to Recognize Your Bullshit. So maybe a lot of people out there just feeling like they want a change and they know there's something better or something more that they're called to do. And sometimes you just listen to that voice, you just never know. And when you pray about it, God or source or however you call that higher power will lead you to the right place. And I definitely feel like I was led here. So I'm thankful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to all of these phenomenal women for joining us to share their story. Thank you, Miss Mona, for coming on and blessing us with the power of God as we start this show. Once again, I need y'all to share. Everybody share. I'm going to bring Dr. Tina up. She's going to read the comments, and then we're going to get into some of these questions. And the first question going to be, what inspired you to become a truck driver? So y'all can get ready and prepare for this question. And how did you get started in the industry? Okay, so that's our second question as I bring Dr. Tina up. Dr. Tina, we need you to unmute your microphone.
Wait a minute. Okay, and I'm back. And so we want to give some attention to our virtual studio audience who is tuning in and following and sharing. So thank you so much, Life on the Road Recruiting, who said this will be epic. Hey, ladies, a group of phenomenal women. Keep up the good work. Felicia actually says hi. And we also have Miss Nancy said, praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Glory to the Lamb of God. Hey, sis, I love you. And I am so proud of you, sis. Love you. So proud to be your big sister. God bless you and keep you, Teresa. Oh, somebody, your girl, your family coming through. All right. And so then we said, Life on the Road Recruiting said, thank you, Miss Mona. And also she came back and she wants to bless all of you on the panel. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Amen. Mm-hmm. And we have another person that just came on, Dr. Seven. Shout out to my sister Teresa and all the beautiful women on the panel. Without y'all, our way of life is not possible. God, but that's an amen statement. Amen. So this is why we're doing what we're doing, so that you can see that there are women behind these trucks, these box trucks, these 18-wheelers and beyond, and that you'll be able to finally put a face with what women are contributing to this male-dominated industry. So I'm going to go in the back. You ladies, listen, what inspired you to become a trucker, and how did you get started in the industry? Sheree, you can take it over.
Well, let's see. Who want to answer that question first? I want to know. You want to go first? Okay, Miss Bree. Miss Bree. Look, you see how she tried to put me up under the bus, y'all. Miss Bree, you up. Uh-oh. I'm mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So what inspired me to be a truck driver is kind of the fact that I was raised around them all the time, and I never knew I could actually be one. Like, my grandfather was a truck driver. My uncle spent the rest of his life, and he's in retirement now, as a truck driver. My father's childhood best friend is out here now driving trucks. Like, I grew up around truck drivers. I just never knew I could be one. And I had a sudden life-changing event happen to me, and, well, not me personally, but to my family in 2018. My father suddenly passed away. And, he was my dad, my friend, my pastor, everything. So it took a lot away from me, and I was left feeling so empty. I really didn't know what to do. And I wanted to be able to connect with him again and do something special for him that I feel like he never got to do this. I feel like my whole family was, involved, his best friend, everything, and he never got to drive. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take us out. I'm going to take us out. I'm going to get us out here on this roadway, and we are going to do this, and I'm not going to let anything or anybody stop me, because it's for my, this is about something more than me. So it was tough. It was a tough thing to have to go through, but it's what got me out here in the first place. Otherwise, I probably would have never been a truck driver at all. It was difficult, and I don't know how much time I have left to talk, because I could talk about a whole bunch of things for a long time. But just let me know if I'm talking too much, you guys. It was difficult. It was to the point where I could not be around family because I couldn't process what happened. So I used to do things like sleep in my car. And, it was tough. But once I got to the company that I was hired onto, I felt like, okay, I'm okay now. And I just took it from there. They worked with me. I didn't know anything about driving trucks, even though. And another thing is, I knew how to be respectful to truck drivers off rip, because that's how I was raised. I was raised by them. So I've never in my entire life disrespected a truck driver. And then I became one. So that's amazing to me. I always had a lot of respect for drivers anyway, and then I was able to become one. Any questions?
Thank you so much for sharing your story. I just brought everybody up because with sisterhood, we got to come together, And so that's the only reason I just brought you. I want you to know that you wasn't alone in this conversation. So that's why I just brought everybody back up. And thank you for sharing that, because let me bring up Miss. Oh, I think did she fall off? Let's see. I think Miss Ray, are you still with us? Okay, well, who want to go next?
I'll go next.
Miss Teresa.
Yeah, because I went blank and I didn't even tell y'all when I started, so that was like January 2015. I went through, back then it was Swift. I know y'all make jokes about Swift, but
too.
Listen, and I never had an accident. God always kept me. When I tell you, I have blessed oil. Chaplain Mona was talking about praying for your truck. I buzzed my head. I oiled the truck down, and every day, because you do have to be vigilant with your relationship with the Lord while you in truck, because the things we see and go through being in the truck, yeah, you definitely need prayer. I know I do. So yeah, I started in 2015, and it was either go back to school for like 2 years and work full time. Who want to do that? And still don't make more than a truck driver. So it was like, go to school with Swift for 2 weeks and get your CDL, get in the truck. And I think I got my first check. I only did like 3 loads that week because they was trying to, when I got in the truck by myself without my trainer, my check was like $852. I was like, I'm never going back to a regular job ever in my life because I only did 3 loads. I wasn't even like really grinding, So I was like, I'm never doing that again. So that's how I got started. And I actually was about to get my place, but I had a roommate, and so I moved out from with them. I just went on the road for like 3 months, just from school to my trainer to be in the truck by myself for like 3 months straight. That's all I did was truck. And so, yeah, it's been a journey. I went to pick up my child in the truck when I first started, and he was just blown away. When I turned the corner, you go straight first, and then you turn. When I turned, he was like, "Oh, Mom!" So I really felt like a hero to him, and he's 19 now. So yeah, it's been a while.
Awesome. So going back to what Miss Bruce said, it's pivotal moments that bring you into this industry. And so I want to just really touch on that for a moment, because I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but none of us said, when I grow up, I just want to be a truck driver. And my dad is a truck driver. And so I knew I didn't just say no, I actually thought I was going to be a bus driver till I saw the application. And so I want y'all to talk about, it was a long application, and it was way longer than trucking. And so I want to go to you, Miss Ashley, but I also want to anyone who want to share to talk about a pivotal moment that brought you into this industry as well, if y'all want to stay there, because I think that's most of our stories. Miss Ray, are you with me? Unmute your mic.
It's done. Sorry. There we are. I keep it muted because I'm pulled over on the side of the highway and my emergency flashers are on. I taught school for 10 years, elementary school. And that was a nightmare. I mean, that was not sexy. No. And I realized that trucking was for me. I mean, we had RVs when I was growing up, so I've always liked big vehicles, from cars on up to the RVs. And so I think that got me ready. I think everything that I've gone through in my life has gotten me ready to be a truck driver, I really do enjoy my own company, so I'm good with that. Time management is good. Just learning the skills. I'm still working on my backing. I know some of you ladies can relate to that. But, after my mom passed, she passed 3 days before the country shut down for COVID. And I had to quit working when she went into a diabetic coma. So I was trying to work from home, but as she progressed, through her illness, she would come in and just start chatting with me while I was working from home on the phone. I used to do technical troubleshooting for a very famous brand of phone. And so I had to leave that job because I would have to stop and take care of her. I was her only caregiver. And like I said, she passed 3 days before the country shut down, and I was left jobless. I was left homeless. I was homeless for 2.5 years. Yeah, I'm just now coming out of it. But the experience of being homeless and understanding that I only had me to take care of from now on. I don't have any children. I'm not married. Really solidified the fact that trucking was for me. Like I said previously, I was happier to get my CDL license than I was my college degrees. My college degrees I did for other people. It really wasn't for me. But this, I'm 54. This is something that I've finally done for me. This is the first real thing that I've actually done for me. And I'm very proud of that. I'm blessed beyond. Just to have this opportunity to know that I can do it, to know that being self-sufficient, this is not something that somebody can step in and take over for you. You either learn or get gone. And that's just the way it is, and I appreciate that. It's like holding your feet to the fire. It motivates you to move, and my trainer's been excellent, and I know that she's preparing me for my best career. I want to explore all avenues of the transportation industry, including becoming a business owner. But that motivation was to focus on me. That was my pivot point when I realized that it's time for me. I've taken care of people all my life, and it's time for me.
Thank you so much for sharing. I want to take a little break, and I want to play this because I had to pull myself out because, listen, I said I ain't going to cry these laughs out. But listen, y'all are really making me understand why I was touching on some of these issues through She Trucking. And so I want to play to you CNN when I brought this issue up to CNN, okay? We're going to stay with us, y'all. Share this out. Tell someone. But I want to play this clip from CNN really quick.
Oh, Erin, she's amazing. Erin Burnett joins me now, by the way. Erin, trucking, it's still dominated by men, and the situations women deal with are really shocking. What did you learn?
It's really amazing, Don. This summer, I was in Utah. I saw a sign, $80,000 starting salary for truckers, right? Full health care, $10,000 bonus, right? These are good paying jobs. And that's why, Sheree is dedicating, her life to getting more and more women in those jobs. But it's dangerous. She talked to me about how even now there's no designated truck parking, right? It's not well lit. She talks about how at rest stops you go in, there might be a shower, but there's not a shower for women and men. There's no locks on the doors. People come in. Drivers get robbed. There's sexual assault. There's a lot for women to fear, and that has kept women out. So she's really been championing tackling some of these issues so that more and more women can get in and get these jobs because they do pay. They pay real money. You heard that single mother there with 4 children. She's able to support her children. And Sheree, Don, she talked about how, many of the women that come into trucking are coming out of abusive relationships or, some of them have been homeless. So this is a huge ticket for them to a very different life. And she will have people in her home for weeks at a time as she tries to help them get through the certification process, sign up, and turn their life in the direction they want to go.
Let me tell you, when we do these champions and the heroes every year, it just reminds me of the really amazing people we have in this country who are doing really inspirational things. Erin, thank you for inspiring us and bringing us the story of women in trucking. I really appreciate it. And there's a lot more where this came from and what Erin did and many others.
It's so real. And that's why I was speaking. So listen, y'all, like I said, y'all might see me tear up, but it's okay. And it's just that I'm seeing the purpose of why. And I'm just so grateful that y'all came today to share. I'm so glad that y'all came out of that. You on the other side, you in that truck. You can stay in that truck for however long you want to be and never be homeless again. Some of the women who I know who have been in this women's and came in homeless, they built their house from scratch. Okay. And I can introduce you to some of those women who have built their house from scratch. Okay. And so I just want, Dr. Tina, I guess,
yes. When I hear all of you guys' stories, one one word comes into my mind, what trucking has done for you. It gave you freedom, whether that was freedom of mind, freedom of financial, freedom of just knowing that you can stand on your own 2 feet. And this is something that's sounding all over the sheep trucking community in regards to how now look at Ray. She's finally saying, I'm living for me now. I already took care of everybody else. It's my turn. Then we hear Bree, how trucking actually helped her be able to deal with the emotion of losing her father when she didn't know how to connect. Then we hear about Melinda, who says that she was pre-diabetic and how she was able to go on the journey and take it mile by mile. And now she turned her health and wellness around. And then you hear Mona saying how to always keep God in your life. And then we hear Teresa saying how she had to bless everything before she got on that road. Okay. She went on, she like, I'm gonna bless myself, bless the truck, bless everything. Okay. And then we hear Shayna starting her own clothing line to be inspirational, and it's centered around the foundation of faith. And Cindy saying, well, I don't drive a 18-wheeler, I drive a box truck, but honey, you're still in the transportation. That's part of transportation. And so when we hear about this, and Renee, she came in and she's saying, oh, I'm an author, and she's a spiritual coach as well. So she's helping you keep your mind together as well. And hearing about Ashley and how she's one of our moderators and how she's one of the beginners, but she just starting out, hearing from the beginning to just starting to many, many years and decades in this industry. This is why I love what I do, to be able to provide a platform for you to just share your story. This is so inspirational to me. And Sheree, she thinks she's slick, taking herself off camera and putting me on camera. And you know I cry ugly. So no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it today. But I'm just so thankful for all of you just sharing your story, and our audience, they're loving everything. And so hearing all of this, and also we're gonna piggyback back on some of the things that you guys had to face, because it's not easy. It's not easy in this industry, especially for women. And so what kind of challenges have you had to face in the trucking industry? And we are going to start at the first time I said this question, I saw Teresa head move like, oh, girl, it wasn't easy. So being that I saw you move first, Teresa, unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about your challenges in this industry.
Okay, so and I still forgot to say, I do have a mentorship for women who want to get in trucking or already in trucking because of the challenges that you face that you don't know that you're going to face because you're new to trucking. And you're not going to learn everything in class. So, and I just want to be to the women, and I've mentored some men as well. So that be to them what I wish I would have had, because it's those times where I do like my own company, like Miss Ray said, but also if you're dealing with anything, like with your family, when you're away from your family, when you miss the funeral, when you miss the birthdays and you miss the game. But just being a woman, and then, hello, I'm Black. So that's like another thing, because we always say male dominated, but it's really white male dominated, I believe. And so when you're checking in, you pick up, you want to check in, the men want to just like run over you. Oh no, we're not gonna do that, because I'm not gonna be here all day with y'all. I was first before you. We're not gonna do that. So sometimes a lot of times I have to take up for myself, and sometimes other men will jump in, but it's the way you carry yourself. And I look at them in the eye, like, okay, like, hello, I don't have to be smiling all the time, but you have it's a way you carry yourself to know that you might not want to kidnap me and put me in your truck, because it's just you and all these men out there. And some of them are congratulating you, but other ones can have a different mindset. And I'm like, I'm not the one. And so that's how I had to learn how to put this armor on, this shield, and always be vigilant. Your head got to be on the swivel. You have to really be an advocate for yourself and know that you're worth being seen and worth getting your money, because sometimes people want to play with your money too. So just being a woman, and it's that equipment in the middle of the night when it's snowing, you got ice, you trying to bump the dock, can't bump the dock. It's so much. When I tell you, and I've written a lot of things down, just the day in the life of a trucker, from getting up, doing your pre-trip, the lighting. When I heard someone say the lighting, sometimes I pull up to the fuel island to do my pre-trip because it's light, and you don't want to go out. I don't have to bust nobody in the head, because I don't go out. You need to have your little hammer or something with your tire thumper, just, I think, the microaggressions as well, the things that we encounter while we're driving the truck, and picking up and delivering. It's mental. And then just going down the road, people want to ride right next to you. You can't do that.
I want to.
But go ahead.
Thank you, Teresa, so much for sharing. I want to go to Miss Mona next. And I want her to share because she has 30 years of experience in this industry. And I want to really I want her to talk about, her experience, because it was totally different. I don't know. How long have you been in the industry, Teresa? How long have you been here?
2015, so 8 years.
8 years. So let's go to 30 years. I want to know where we came from before we, come on down. So let's talk about it. Oh, unmute. Let's see. Because I want to bring us up to where
okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, I told you I got to learn all of this social media stuff. We didn't have this back, you say 30, 35 years ago. We didn't have cell phones and, we didn't have GPSs and things like, we have today. I mean, everybody's so spoiled because, we have, all this electronics that we didn't have back then. And I mean, we didn't even have what they call pagers back then. Man, y'all making me feel old now. But when I started, there were very few women. Candy Bass, she's a beautiful trucker. Man, she'd been driving 40 something years, but it was very hard because we were just getting our feet wet into a male dominant place, and no, they didn't accept women. Very few of them did. I was fortunate that the Lord put some good what I say old school brothers in my path, to help me and teach me about the truck, teach me, what I needed to do if I was on the side of the road with an air leak, or, get under the hood. See, I don't see a lot of people doing that. And that's why I encourage women, know your truck. But go back to back then, I actually wrote a story about women truckers in back then. And when I started, most men would say, you need to be barefoot, pregnant, and you need to be at home. And I actually had a driver tell me that. I'm like, no, you just didn't. And so then I realized, what I was up against. And to me, that began my challenge. You're not going to tell me that, I cannot do this. I'm going to show you as a woman that I can drive as good as you can. I mean, that was what how I thought back then. And so I wrote a story for the Trucker News, and it was called Hats Off to Mother Truckers. And it was because there was a lot of us that, you can have a choice that you want to be on food stamps and live off the government all your life, or you can, make a career. And that's what I chose to do, driving truck. And as you can see, 35 years or so, I'm still doing it. I am still a driver. I drive reefer. That's, I love driving hopper, but um, the acceptance is a lot different than what I endured. We had to get out a map and we had to look at, where we were going, and we had to call people and get directions. And now, uh, and I'm going to tell y'all, buy a map, get a map. Don't always rely on your GPS because it will take you places you don't want a big semi to go. Trust me, I've been there. But we had to learn the hard way, and so. But now, we have phones. We can call people. We can get directions. The men, they you still have the ones that don't want you to be out there. I see that a lot, but it's awesome that we can take our places as women and be a driver. And this is a career. A lot of people say, well, it's not a career. A lot of people want this to be a career, but it's a lifestyle. You eat driving, you sleep driving, you pray driving. I mean, it's a lifestyle. But because of me being in this so many years, I've gone to different um, uh, churches, and I've gone to different the chapels that they have outside of the truck stops. Did my testimony. Have I always did things by the book growing up into trucking? No, I got into some pretty serious stuff, and it like to cost me my life. And so that's why I do what I do today with Trucking Angels for Christ, because I know the struggles, I know the temptations, I know what the enemy is out to do, and it's so easy to fall into um, the things of the world. I'm going to say it that way because I've been there, and so the Lord put Trucking Angels for Christ on my heart because I want to see y'all succeed. I want to see y'all be the best that God has ever created you to be. Driving truck, yeah, it's a hard career. It's a hard lifestyle. I've missed out on so much. You miss out on birthdays, as some of you ladies say. I'm out here about 300 days a year. The only time I do take off is when I'm doing a truck show. I set up at different truck shows so I can talk to you ladies in person, hug you, pray for you, let you know, hey, I know what you're going through. I'm here for you. And so God has been helping me with this journey, and even still today, going through Utah and all that snow and ice, I pray. I do. I put him first, and like the young lady said, I anoint my truck. In the process with driving and doing Trucking Angels for Christ, I am also an author. I'm a freelance writer, and I write for Gear Jammer magazine. And so the Lord has opened up so many avenues for me to meet wonderful ladies like you and to be there for you. So, just keep up the good work. You've called to do this. Usually after 6 months, if you've been in this business 6 months and you can't handle it, your body will tell you, forget this. This isn't for me. But most of you ladies are, keeping on doing it. And the struggles are real, but God is bigger. And you just keep on doing a good job because you're out there making a difference. You're moving America, and I appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Miss Melinda. I want you to unmute your mic. I think that you will be next as far as experience, and I want you to share after this commercial. Okay, I want to quickly run a commercial because she mentioned that the Mid-American Truck Show is coming up. It's the largest truck show in the world. She Trucking has been there advocating and really, like she said, rubbing hands and hugging. We hug every woman in this industry. Or I think we've been there for 4 years because King is 4. And so, but we won't be there this year at the Mid-American Truck Show. We was at the last anniversary at the 50th annual anniversary. They have been doing this for 50 years. And while we was there, we had a panel and we talked about diversity and inclusion. on that panel. And because I will, but I want to play this video from Radio Nemo. If y'all have not checked out the Road Dog Show, my good friend Dave Nemo, he's the host of the series Radio Nemo. And we'll be back. Miss Melinda, I'm coming to you right after this commercial. Thank you. Miss Melinda, it's your turn to unmute and share. Oh, wait, if you're watching, this is the International Women's Month, a special edition of the She Trucking Podcast. We have 11 phenomenal women here who's in the industry doing all different types of things. Experience from, if you add up all the experience, it's like over 100 years. You got 30 years to all the way up to, hey, I just started a couple months ago. So it does not, listen, we got bus drivers, we got box truck drivers, we got everything in transportation right here on our panel. But one thing we do have is phenomenal, empowered women who did not give up. Some of the strongest women in the industry who offer guidance, mentorship, and not afraid to step up and tell you how to be successful in this industry. Miss Melinda, if you would come on and share, it's on you.
Let's see it. Yeah. Well, I've been driving for 4 years. I've had a few scary moments. One of my scariest moments I've had was during my first 3 months. I did my very first park at a truck stop. It was nighttime. And I did my post trip, got in, shut my curtains, got settled in, and then all of a sudden I heard that bang, 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 bang. And I peeked out my curtain, and there's 2 guys standing at my door screaming and yelling at me, saying that I hit their truck. I needed to get out and go in the back and see the damage that I did. And luckily, I was a combat medic in the Army, so I've learned a lot of techniques to think outside the box and try to figure out scenarios before you react. And so I actually told them, hey, you're just going to have to wait. I called the truck stop manager and I'm like, y'all got somebody that can come out here with me? Ended up calling the cops, going out in the back. They sent the manager out, which was wonderful. And long story short, they were just trying to scam or something else. I have no idea because there was no damage back there. So it's, just think outside the box and don't just react. But it did get me thinking, if it was 2 females knocking instead of 2 males, would I have gone out?
Right.
Dash cam?
A dash cam. So I'm glad you mentioned that because I literally set this down today and I said, I want to make sure that everyone has a dash cam on their camera, on their truck, because this is what has gotten me out of some of those situations too, is having my own camera that I control. You get what I'm saying? That it protects you while you're on the road. So definitely get your dash cam on your truck.
Well, I got one. I got a dash cam that it was for a car that did the back window, and I actually put it on the front windshield. So I have my own internal camera on me, plus the camera looking out, so I can prove, hey, I wasn't on my phone or anything like that. So that's how I got the inside camera that I can control. That I don't have to worry about any peeping toms on.
So thank you so much for sharing. I want to kind of switch the conversation up, and I want to talk about how it is to be a woman out here with kids. I want to go to Miss Shauna, and I want to talk about how are you? No, okay, you here? Okay, I want you to unmute. And I want you to talk about how it is to, have, or whoever want to go, who have children. And let's talk about being a woman and taking care of a family.
Hello. So about the kids, the children, my boys are grown. Now back then when I first started, they wasn't. They was actually in high school when I first started. and that was back in 2014. So it was rough also, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to do local. It was rough. My fiance at the time helped me get on to a local company, which I'm still with to this day. And I've never been over the road, so I commend you know, my hands up to you ladies that's been out here running the roads, the interstates, and the highways. But I've never done it. I don't have that experience at all. But I missed out on it. I wanted to do it. But yeah, having kids is definitely rough being on the road. I can just only imagine. It was rough as me being local. Yeah, and like someone mentioned about how you miss out on some of the best things in life, with some of the events, some of the birthdays, some of the graduation, prom coming up. I mean, it's a lot. You definitely want to keep track of your kids, especially nowadays. So I can just only imagine what some of the other women as well are going through, just being away from their kids and their family. Um, I just say keep pushing. I know it's hard because it really is rough out here. I don't care what nobody say. We make it look so easy though, because we cool, calm, and collected. So we make it look really, really easy, but it's rough out here. It's rough. It's rough as a local. It's rough out here. I'm in Charlotte, so I definitely can relate to some the traffic conditions and all of that stuff. I had to drive to Atlanta, and everybody know about Atlanta. So um, yeah, it's rough. So I commend you, ladies that have children at home.
Thank you so much for sharing. As you see, you can be a woman out here and drive trucks. You just need a support system, and and also you can have it's local opportunities where you can be home with your family, especially if you're in the right area. So next, I'm gonna go to Miss Renee because Miss Renee she sometimes bring her kids on the truck, and I think that's very interesting. So let's talk about it.
Yes, I have two daughters, one's 9 and one's 7. Um, and I mostly had like working for independent, where I was an independent operator, where I was able to take my kids. Now I work for a company. I'm not able to, but I get more home time, which is cool. But yeah, this is just a really hard topic. It is so hard. I went from being a single mom, home struggling with them, and then I was in a homeless shelter, and then a custody battle, where we was able to kind of come to a fair agreement out of court. So thankfully we have a pretty good co-parenting relationship, but it was not like overnight, and then I was going to get them back full time, but I realized like I'm actually struggling. Like I really need to do something different. And then sitting, just like succumbing to that right of just having my kids back with me full time, and they're little, like I got into trucking in 2020 during George Floyd, during COVID, during, like just getting my mental health to a stable place after the custody battle, like then finding out that they were not going to renew my lease where I was living, and like, what is going on? What am I going to do? So trucking was it was a blessing in disguise. And every day I'm just trying to figure out, like, do I stop this and get my kids back full time? Because they always asking me, when are we going to come back to, I live in Charlotte, too, like Shauna. And there is a lot of local jobs and stuff, but I've just, it's just like, the money, and you get kind of stuck in this, and there's just been things I've been able to do with my kids that I don't know if I have been able to do that otherwise, struggling as a single mom, like being like, come on, let's go. We're going to go here. We're going to cross country and go visit grandma and papa over in Arizona. One time, the last lady I worked for, like I was able to say, hey, I want to go to Florida. Can you give me a ride there? Maybe I want to take the kids down to Gator World or, go to New Orleans. And yeah, it's just such a blessing. Like, just be like, I had thought about getting an RV and just living and being an RV mom, doing whatever. But I was like, what am I going to do financially? I'm still going to struggle. And then I come out here, I'm thinking, oh, there's just freedom, but it's really not free because you're still working and you still got deadlines and you got people look, if you say you want extra time, you got people looking at you like, oh, you don't really want to work. You don't really want to make the miles. And, sometimes that can be just extremely heavy. The kids are used to it to a certain extent, but I think for me, it's more of the mental, being alone in the truck so much, being in my own head about it. I think we can be our own worst enemy sometimes, like feeling like we have to do so much more than other people don't even really expect that from us, but we feel like we have to do so much more. Like I'm like, my kids need me. They need more. They need more from mommy, do I just take a step back and be a full-time mom? Or do I just keep doing this and live this empowered trucker mom, author, successful, live my life, let them see an empowered mom, let them see what it looks like to have a mom that can do anything, maybe they need that. So it's definitely one of those things that I just don't feel like I'll ever get comfortable or like be okay, but like, you have to survive for them. And, I do get to see him consistently with the job I have every other weekend, and I get weekends off and I'm home a few nights a week. So it's a pretty good, but I miss going over the road too. And I miss taking them with me. So you just take what you have and you just try to just be grateful for every day and every moment. And they're happy girls and I'm blessed. So thank you.
Thank you. So I want by the show of hands, because this is a topic that I'm bringing up this year. I'm literally, if y'all know, I am like, I will start a movement. And my movement this year is about adding childcare resources to trucking companies. How would that make a difference? Can you, by the show of hands, tell if that would make a difference if you had child care and elderly care resources that the company provide? Maybe it's a daycare next to your company. So if you're a local driver, you can take your kids to the daycare that's connected to the company. Okay. And then you can go to work and get off and come get your kids. Right. So I want to talk about that because that's one of the topics I'm going to be bringing up, and I'm actually partnering with the child care service. Shout out to EduStation and Tiny Tigers Learning Center. And we're going to try to, be able to find some resources for our mothers out here because everyone wants more women in the industry. And I keep telling them we got them, but now we got to get them the tools that they need to stay. And so let's speak on that, about how maybe that a resource like that could help you if you have kids and you looking for employment. Just unmute your mic. I'm not whoever want to speak.
I'm going to say for myself, that's one of the biggest issues that I had, and the reason why I couldn't go over the road is because I didn't have anyone to watch my children for that initial training. And it's not so much of I don't want to take my children on the road with me because I do. But you need someone to watch them for those couple of weeks while you go out on the road. And it's very difficult to get other people to help you. Other people have their own lives. They have their own things going on. They have their own schedule. And people really don't want to commit to that. And then when they do commit to it, they look at you like a cash cow and they think that you're going to be making all of this money right off the bat. And it's just like, no, I have to start from the bottom to work my way up. And, that was one of the reasons why I looked into local. And I realized once I got my license that, most companies want the experience of someone that's been on the road. Now, I want to piggyback off of what I was talking about earlier as far as being a newbie, because I had a terrible experience. I'm not going to mention the company, but I was hired. They knew that I didn't have experience, and here I am being trained by truck drivers that's been in the game for a very long time. And just because you're in the industry for over 30, 40, 50 years, that doesn't necessarily mean that you know how to teach, you know how to train. That does not make you a qualified trainer. And I was being trained, and I feel as if, well, for one, I was laid off because I don't know, for whatever reason, I was laid off. But I knew it was because I didn't have experience. But I learned the short time that I was at the company, and I'm saying to myself, you have someone that's like me, that's hungry, willing to work, and here I am being trained by certain individuals that's stealing money from the company, that's really not doing anything, and they're teaching me this. And you have someone that's new out here that's willing to follow the rules, do the right thing, put in that work, show them that, listen, this is my drive, this is my passion, this is what I want to do, and it's just so unfortunate that some of us are struggling right now to find local, because some of us don't have that stability from our families to help us go and get that training over the road.
Absolutely. That was some excellent points. I don't know if anybody else want to share, because if not, I'm going to training, because we got to talk about what it's like going through training. When you get your CDL and you going through that training and you got this man in there you got to go and stay with for a month. Oh, let's talk about it, ladies. Miss Bree, unmute your mic and you got the floor.
I just wanted to talk about what you touched on for the mothers. I'm single. I do not have any kids. Like, I'm not a mother, but I'm OTR and I love being OTR. I don't want to do anything else. If I have children, then that would be something that I would have to sacrifice in my career right now. And I think that's what a lot of people deal with. Like, it's kind of like the mentality. If you got kids, you need to go home, find a local job. And people, I don't want to have to do that. That's and it makes me wonder about the things that I want to do in my personal life. Like, I want to have a family one day. Those are some of the things that I want to do on a personal level. So that would be great. I would love something like that to have, so I don't have to worry about that so much as a minority and as a woman.
Absolutely. These are things that we need change now, and we demand it right now that we get it on today. If you're listening and you are owner of your company, think about that. Even if you're a small company and you got one truck and you put a woman in that truck, take the opportunity to be able to, to be able to understand that she's a mother with kids. She's gonna come home sometime, most of the time when her kids are sick. She may come home, and provide some resources, because doing nothing is not the answer. And I'm like you, I don't have any kids. So, but I speak on this a lot about having maternity pay in this industry. So when you are pregnant, you can be able to take off to deliver your kids, because people in our community have had miscarriages by being in the truck, and the impact that the truck has had was like a drill, drilling into the concrete. And so I speak about this a lot because we need change now, as more women are entering into the industry. And I don't know when you may have your first, but see, I'm just gonna be honest. Now listen, I can give me the babies. I'll babysit. We want to make sure that when it's your turn, that you can have the resources. Okay. And so if you're joining, this is the International Women's Month panel with 11 of us, right? 11 phenomenal women in trucking who are sharing their experiences and their stories for you today. And want the anybody else want to share about having kids in the industry? If not, let's Miss Mona. Okay, go ahead. And I just want to, before Miss Mona start, I just want to say, oh my God, time has flew by. So we're like an hour and 15 minutes into the show. And so just make sure that your answers are kind of quick so we can get through a couple more topics.
Okay. I just want to say something about having the children, while you're on the road. Um, I had both of mine because when I started in '89, one my was like 6 years old and the other one was seven, going through a nasty divorce, and then like maybe a lot had to do something, and so you had to find a good nana. You got to find someone that that will take care of your children, in your absence, the way that you would want them, so please be careful with who you do choose to care for your children and upraise them. And I've missed out on so much with my children. And even today, like my son, like he's going to be 40, and my daughter's 37, but they both don't want me out here. They haven't wanted me out here since, years and years, but they know that this is my heart. But they still miss me, and they still want me to be a part of their life. Now it's my grandchildren that are calling me, hey Mima, when are you going to be home? We miss you. We want you home. And but ladies, if you're going to do any long distance driving, just please be careful who you choose, and make sure that they're trustworthy. And the idea, Sheree, that you have is excellent. I believe that that would be more for people that are just driving local, because most of the child care is like 6 to 3 or 6 to 6, and so I came in that you don't have that child care for at night. So I think what you're doing would be awesome if they would understand our hours and things like that.
Thank you, Miss Mona, for sharing, and thank you everyone for sharing your perspective, because we know that it's different industries have what you call respite, right? And doing respite is 24-hour care. I work with foster kids here, and sometimes they have to, they it's something called respite. So even with those services being, open 24 hours a day, that's going to employ someone, first of all, into a position that they can be at a trucking company. Right now, I think about when I was even in high school, we had a daycare at our school so people could so the ladies could continue their education, and that's something that they added in. But this is why we have to have these conversations. It's so important. And so one of the questions that I'll be talking about in next month at the Ohio Trucking Association roundtable is, what do you think would attract more women into the supply chain and workforce, or into the industry? So you can unmute your mic if you want, and the first person can go and talk about what do they think that would attract more women, as they always ask. Would attract more women? These are some of the topics, right? That'll attract more women. Anybody want to talk about that? No, we're gonna skip it.
Well, it's kind of hard to say because I feel like a lot of women really don't like to drive in general.
I love driving.
I love driving
And
too.
I
I
think most of
listen.
us drivers love driving.
I
We
I
are
love
love,
driving the truck.
but I realize, and I've encountered, besides social media, but just out in the world when I meet people and I talk to people and I'm social, a lot of women that I've came in contact with really don't like to drive. They really don't.
But
And
see, Miss
the only reason why I truly, truly love to drive is because when I was younger, for one, I my mother taught me because she's from the South. She was from the South. She taught me how to drive at 13 because I guess back then that's when they learned how to drive. So, and when I got my permit, I would help her drive back and forth to Alabama, back to New York because that's where she's from. She was from. But yeah, I feel like besides social media, meeting everybody on social media and knowing of females on social media, outside in the real world, I personally come in contact with a lot of women that just don't like to drive. They don't like to really be behind the wheel.
Well, that's because we don't like to drive in New York. And see, you in New York, you come down to the South, baby, we'll drive all through Florida, Alabama, all 10, 20 below. But no, we do not like to drive in New York City. We don't like it up there. So come on, honey, and ask that same question, and we'll tell you we are drivers, and I enjoy driving. I enjoy it all these years. And I'm pretty sure I know a lot of y'all, you get to see some of the beautiful scenery. When I saw the sky, it just turned pink on me. I was like, oh, my favorite color, So, and it's just so many beautiful sceneries when you're out there on the road. So you got to come on down South Seas to be able to answer that question because we do not. I agree. We do not like to drive in New York. Anybody else want to touch on that subject?
I think respect, Sheree. More respect from the men, especially since it's a dominant, industry. Men. It's a bunch of men, a lot of men out here, and I think it's just the respect and just helping, helping the women that's out here more.
Let's talk about this because I've had great experiences. Well, a lot of men have been helpful, and a lot of them have been respectful. I think sometimes it's about our attitudes when they ask us if we want the help. I've heard from a lot of men that say, "Hey, she said she didn't want my help." And so, but a lot of men that help me because when I've been a damsel in distress, honey, I can't get the door shut.
Right.
And that has been very helpful.
Yeah.
So I guess you our guys, it's a lot of men that support our organization. And so I definitely want to shout out to our men that's out there who have been very supportive and very helpful.
Yes, I'll tell you in a minute.
Some are good. Now we do got some.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues, but you hear that a lot, And like you said, I think it's more so of you, yourself, and your attitude because I'm friendly and I'm always happy, and they're always, hey, girl. I'll be like, hey, dude, hey, So
absolutely, Miss Melinda, did you want to speak on it? I saw someone's hand, and I may call the wrong name, but
yes, if like during the training sessions at school, if maybe they would have a section where they teach or show or explain that over the road you can have a work-life balance. It's not all work, and just to explore and find ways that you can, like downtime, you're getting unloaded or live unloaded. Okay, so what is something you've always wanted to learn? Or do you want to go to school while you're on the road? And you can do more than just drive. I think that would be very beneficial if you get into the industry and say, hey, we'll show you, you can, like, there is a truck driving school that will pay full college tuition while you're driving for them, for you and all your dependents, 2 at a time. And it's just a lot of stuff that people don't know, that you can have a work-life balance out here. It's not all just driving.
No, it's
so I think that would help. I would think that would help get more women in, is knowing that they can do that.
Absolutely. We definitely need some transitional educational programs to be able to pivot truck drivers into those positions and really also just diversify the logistics side as well, because I don't know. I think I may see a recruiter sometime as a woman, or sometime we may see it's not even many terminals. I know Gardner Trucking is one of the women-owned companies. We have a few women-owned companies and different things like that. But as far as management, leadership, safety, different. Shauna came on the podcast a couple weeks ago and talked about all the different careers in trucking that you can do without driving. And so, ladies, I want to encourage you to get in those positions. There are some apprenticeship programs as well that will give you some free training. And we're working to make sure that in those companies that they offer those transitional programs, because I definitely agree with you, Miss Melinda, that it's absolutely needed and that no one should have to mandatorily, just drive forever. You should be able to elevate. We got to go to the next level. And we have to elevate. So if you're listening, you have a company, I'm talking to you. Okay, let these women in and put them in position and they will take your company to the next level, maximize your profits at your company. They will be able to fill the driver's seats because drivers know drivers. Drivers know drivers. Who the best advocate for drivers than a driver? And my dispatcher, I never forget, she was a woman and she actually drove, and that made me feel so comfortable when I got into this industry. So I want to see more women elevate and get into those positions, not just going to owner operator or motor carrier, but also stepping out at these companies because we need you. We need you there. Being a new driver, like I said, I felt so good having another woman there. So anybody else want to give some input on what would attract more women into the industry? Nope. All right. So my next question. Actually, let me bring Dr. Tina on, and I want you to check out some of these comments real quick, and then we're gonna pivot. I want to talk about technology. I want to go into talking about technology and trucking and stuff like that.
All right, ladies. Well, we have a lot of people in our virtual audience that is absolutely loving the information that you're giving and that you're being so transparent and touching the topics that's on their heart. We have a Facebook user that said, "Hey, ladies, I was on YouTube and I could chat, LOL." And then we also have someone from She Trucking said, "Great show." And we have a very great question where it says, "Why didn't the federal government give our truckers a special stimulus check? Because the trucks never stopped rolling. There was more demand in trucking." I agree with you 1000%.
Dr. Tina, let's talk about that. That is a great
money.
They should have did that.
Well, what do y'all think about that? Let's pause right there and let's talk about it. Because I was out there during the pandemic when the restaurants was closed, when matter of fact, me and Dr. Tina, I think Shauna, a lot of us in the She Trucking community was able to pass out over 10,000 PPP boxes because I realized that we was giving everybody masks and we didn't have none. Exactly. We didn't even have the cleaning supplies that we need to be equipped with. And so shout out to Uber Freight. Uber Freight actually helped us gather 10,000 boxes and we stood on the corners, honey. We stood in the West area. We took them into our community and we really gave out 10,000 PPP boxes to people in our community and truck drivers. So what do you think about that? If it was a incentive, like a stimulus check that was given out to truck drivers who was moving America?
I think go ahead. I don't know. Someone else is going. I was going to say, I think that in general as well, we don't get the discounts or like the policemen or the first responders, teachers. I was like, the truckers, we're feeding everybody because we done bought y'all the food. We're feeding the teachers, the first responders. How do they have the things that they need to do their job? Because I was out there as well. It was lovely. Oh, it was so lovely for everybody to be home. It was so lovely just to have an open road. But then my truck broke down and I needed to go to the hotel and they didn't want to, they was like, you're not mandatory. I was like, sir. And I told them the same thing I just said. I said, everything's comes on the truck. So if we don't work, nobody else is working because you don't have what you need to do your job. And finally, a lady in the back, she's like, no, truckers are we're necessity. We're essential. We're essential. So I believe they should give us money for a stimulus for us, even the stimulus for these brokers taking our money from the load itself. Like I think they need to be regulated more. Just like the housing people were when we had the crash when President Obama was here, and had to bail out all the banks and things. Those brokers need to be regulated up under the same thing, the Frank Dodd and all those different regulations just for real estate. It should be that because it's dealing with money.
Absolutely. I totally, I think that it should be recognition and more support for, because at that time we realized that we saw a lot of autonomous trucks out there. So and it was peaceful. I will say I went through Atlanta in about 10 minutes, y'all. I said, oh,
Yes.
and I never went through Atlanta that fast, but we see that things real change while we was in the pandemic, and it is changing, and artificial intelligence is here and autonomous trucks is here. But before we go into technology, I do want to get this in as well, as we at our last 30 minutes. And I want to talk about these rates because, as you mentioned, a lot of people struggling right now with trying to find good loads, trying to keep their trucks moving, and we need to talk about it. Who want to go first? Just unmute and let's just talk, y'all. I'll just listen.
I'm local, so I don't. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna put you on mute, cause but let's talk about it. Miss Cindy, you want to go first? Talk about what's the rates looking like in the box truck, and then we'll move on up to the semis.
Yeah, box trucks it's been rough. Everybody's always talking to me about box truck, and they love that the you don't have to go to CDL, and that's really great. And I, honestly, at these times, I'm talking people out of starting a box truck business. The rates are just rough right now. For a while, there was it was really easy, and I was getting same rates as they could get with the semi, and it was the last year has been rough. So just definitely being really particular about where I run. I do regional and OTR. I've got a lot of, local connections out of Dallas. So, that really helps me. I've been really relying on my relationships because, I can't even imagine being new in this industry and not having those relationships because, hundreds and hundreds of box truck companies are closing right now. They just cannot compete because the rates are so low. And without relationships right now, it's just almost impossible. So it's really tough time. So having to run really lean and mean and be super particular about where I run. I just have to make sure I'm not going into an area that has a low rate coming out. And, because you can't, in the past, I would just get a higher rate going in, when I go to Florida, just have a really high rate going in because, you're not going to get a load coming out. And, but even now you can't do that. It's no balance. The rates are just so lean and mean all across the board. So just having to be really careful and really smart and just passing on a bunch of loads. Honestly, I'm just going to sit. I'm like, I'm not going to go for that. I'm not going to start my truck. And, so it's like, you just got to be smart about where you're running.
Okay, I totally agree. Before we go to the semis, how do you know how much your truck needs to run? I think that's a lot of people's problem. They just taking anything, And so, what are some of those skills that we use, and some of those tools that we use, like a rate calculator, okay, and to be able to figure out how much you need to make when moving that truck, because you can't move a semi for 99 cents.
Well, and people have to know how much your fuel is costing you for load. Like, your miles per gallon that you get on your truck, and you got to figure that out if you don't know, and then look at your expenses. The problem with trucking is that the expenses vary. You have all these other things that vary. So you have to make some estimates about how much your truck is going to cost to run. And some things fluctuate, but you just got to sit down on some paper and figure it out, because you just know that, if it's only you're losing money on the load, You can't do that. And then the other thing I think you have to think about is sometimes it balances out. Like I might have to take a low rate coming out of a certain market, but sitting there, I will hear a driver say sometimes, I've been in this market 4 days, I cannot get a load out, because they're hoping to get this, high rate, but their truck has also been sitting for 4 days. So that truck payment's still coming. That you need to get the wheels rolling. And I will say, take a hit. Nobody likes to take a cheap load. I don't like to take a cheap load, but you got to get that truck back into a better market. So take a load where you can get out and, learn from that experience and try not to make that mistake again going into that area. And then it all kind of balances out at the end. So sometimes you do have to, take a load that's not ideal. That happens. But it all balance out at the end. And you got to be looking at your numbers. At the end of the month, you got to be, calculating how you did and examining, like you have that 30 days, look back over those routes that you took and learn from those experiences, become a student of your business and really pay attention to the numbers. Cause a lot of drivers don't know, they don't even know the cost per mile that it takes to run their truck. I mean, they literally have no idea. And you got to do that. I know some of you are company drivers and you don't self-dispatch, so that all doesn't apply to you. But when you're thinking about becoming an owner operator, when that's a whole another ball game, the whole side of business that you have to start be thinking about, and then planning for those breakdowns and repairs. I mean, that has to be calculated in your rate per mile. Because I mean, that you get a flat tire and you got to have somebody come out and check. I mean, that is expensive repair just to get a tire. I mean, tire alone, just when you're in the shop and you're getting it taken by yourself, but have to have a tow truck come out and get that roadside service. I mean, all those things have to be added into your rate per mile. So it's a lot to consider.
It is. Miss Teresa, I want you to unmute. Oh, I'm sorry. Was someone else going to? No. Miss Teresa, I want you to unmute because you said you do mentorship in this industry. So I want you to talk about how to calculate that rate, because guess what? On today, this don't have to be somebody else's problem, not knowing how to be. So let's give it to them. Let's empower them, because we can't hold these secrets. We need to give it to people so they can survive.
Yes. You have to put down for how much you're paying for, like, and it can get like very detailed, because how much did you pay for the new tires? How many miles is this set of tires to go? And then your PM and your fuel. And then looking at, for me, I think weekly, getting all your receipts together and seeing how many miles you've ran and what you've made and how much you've paid per mile for the fuel. Helps you see how much it takes to actually run the truck itself. And that also includes all of your supplies, your hammers, your gloves, so you have to be very, very intentional about your rate per mile. What's the least amount you would take to move the wheels? And like Miss Cindy was saying, moving to a different market to get a better load. And they also have I can't remember what it is right now, but there's like a website that shows you the different markets, who has the good loads, what loads have been sitting there, and also, like, is it a good market as far as the rates for the loads that are moving recently in that area?
So what I tell my students is to make sure the first thing you need to do is make sure that your fuel is covered. Okay, that's what I'm looking at, is where I'm gonna fuel. I'm gonna calculate my fuel. I'm gonna look at that's my biggest expense, right? That's my biggest expense. I'm gonna look at things like, okay, this is how long it's gonna take me. Can I pick up another load? Where am I going? Like you said, parts of the equipment, different parts, you got to take that into consideration if you have a problem, at that time, or expecting that, putting maybe $200. One thing that I used to tell people is put $200 to the side, for any kind of thing, because about $200 is what $200 to $300 will get you
Yes.
some mechanic to you. Okay.
Mhm.
So I've had some work done for as an owner operator, and it was like a little $300. So, but in that rate calculator, you can find a rate calculator. One of the places that I want to recommend that y'all find a rate calculator, because even your household expenses, your
Mm.
bills, all of that goes into calculating to make sure that you can run that truck and make a profit. Real Women in Trucking has a rate calculator on their website. That's what I've always recommended, is their organization. You can go to realwomenintrucking.com and you can click on there, and you can be able to download that rate calculator to be able to put in your expenses. You can also use platforms like QuickBooks, where it's a profit and loss sheet, and you can put in all your expenses. And then when they tell you that, hey, you're going to make this per mile, you can be able to calculate it. So anybody else want to add to that who are owner operators or just been in that space before?
I'll say something. Um, I have been owner operator and I've been company driver, and I have seen the rates fluctuate so much. I mean, from what we used to get to what we get now. Um, like Cindy was saying, she did a great demonstration on that, to where you got to make sure that you cover for truck payment, fuel, because it's not going to help you to just cover fuel, if your truck gets repoed. I've had a lot of my friends that are small businesses, owner operators, that have literally parked their truck or have sold their truck since the fuel prices went up. It's totally ridiculous what they are trying to get these small companies to take. And then you got broker fee. You've got there's just so much overhead that you've got to make sure
Insurance.
that you cover. And you know. Um, a lot of people don't know that these companies, you get surcharge. So, even though the rates aren't paying, you still, have, like Cindy said, there's that balance. You still got the surcharge that, you can add into that rate. Take a LTL load, less than a truckload, to move you, but I probably would have done what a lot of my friends done, and just went ahead and parked it for a while. And because what's happening is these people that are taking lesser rates, they're going to get the loads. Um, my company, now that I'm driving for individual, what we did is, because when the fuel prices went up, the loads aren't paying to even cover fuel right now. So he asked us across the board. There's 6 of us, and he said, we got a choice. Either you continue, we can't continue to pay you. Unfortunately, this was his, problem. He couldn't pay us the amount that we were getting. So he asked us if we would take a pay cut. And so all of us drivers, we did. We took that pay cut, which was $200, $300 a week, depending on your miles. So that was a great chunk out of a company driver. $1,200, $1,500 a month that we took a cut just to help the business succeed. We were able to do that. But now that the fuel prices are going back down, and he can get a little bit decent rate, then we went back up to what we were.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Um, Yeah, so it's up and down. This is an industry where your check, if you're watching and you interested in being a truck driver, is never mostly consistent unless you sign on to a company or you with a company. Like, I have been at a company that they said, I'm gonna pay you $1,000 a week. So it didn't matter what I did, I was getting the 1,000 a week. And I know that, and as an owner operator, or just being doing lease purchase opportunities, that the best opportunity for me was when I got paid by percentage. So this is, I want to ask y'all really quick, what y'all think? Percentage about a mile, because percentage it was for me, and or would you like a set rate and pay? You can just
Percentage is good, but a lot of times with percentages, they want to take out the fuel rates too, and I've been scammed like that. I just recently found out that's illegal. I don't know if that's true overall, but like company that I worked for before I got on with the major company I'm with now, they were paying me by percentage and also taking out the fuel and everything. And it was I was barely getting anything. I didn't last long with them. So is that true that it's illegal?
I don't know if it's necessarily illegal. Is it? I think it's what a company agree upon. So that's why it's important that you do your research and you really read the fine print when you sign in the contracts of these leases, because of you want to make sure that first of all the overhead come off, and then that percentage is what you're going to be bringing home. If you can, if that company offer that. And so I think it really depends on the actual company. I've seen companies take it out your pay weekly, and I've seen it both ways happen at the companies. I'm not sure if it's necessarily illegal. That's a great question, and I'll get back to you on that and everyone who's watching. But I'm not too sure on that one. So all right, y'all. I know we have Dr. Tina, if you want to jump in here, because we literally over 2.5 hours.
All right. Yes. Let me wake y'all up for the last little bit of minutes. That's what I'm here for, ladies. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. And also a big shout out to our virtual studio audience. You see we engage with you. One of those questions that you asked had us going in a long discussion when you start talking about that stimulus money. Okay, we had to go in for a little while. So thank you for sending that comment, because ones who are watching and will be listening to this on the replay, our truckers need they need stimulus. They need to be shown appreciation, okay? And not just one day a year.
And I'm not going to say stimulus. I'm just going to say fair
wages.
Fair wages. And they also need to get paid. I'm going to turn my screen to what's on y'all know what's on my wall. What is this? Law book, right? So that on duty pay. I think it will balance everyone pay if you got paid on duty pay, because currently in this industry, we're not getting paid to fuel our truck. We're not getting paid for pre-trips inspections. We're not getting paid for post-trips. And if you really think about it, and without that on duty pay, the things that make us safe out here, we don't get paid for that. So some, do you want me to really check your truck, or do you want me to drive it until it quits? Because you're not paying me for that. So I want y'all to really think about that. And I want more owner operators more carriers. We demand right now, I'm demanding it, that more carriers catch on to paying on duty pay. Now, I have been at some LTL companies that will pay that on duty pay. And I have seen, oh my God, I loved it. I absolutely loved that company that did pay that on duty pay. And they even paid me to flip the hazmat placards on my trailer. So you even got paid for that. And you're talking about $20 or $30 an hour, that you can pay somebody to do a 15-minute pre-trip, another 15-minute, however long it takes, right? It's no certain time to do a pre-trip inspection, but however long it takes. And then guess what? I'm pretty sure your equipment will last longer because you're paying us for that. And if I ain't getting paid, I'm going to kick a couple times. I'm going to check my fluids. Let's just be real, y'all. We're not doing the pre-trip inspection that we was taught in the truck because we don't have time. And if our wheels are not rolling, we're not earning. And so that's why you have to put the on-duty pay in. And listen, I don't know. Let's talk about it. What you think? Would you like on-duty pay? Let's just say a yes. Raise your hand.
Yes. Cut the check.
Yeah.
I think detention, because if you're pulling like what I pull, I might be sitting at a grocery warehouse for 4 to 8, 10 hours, sometimes go down to Laredo, and your product's not over the border yet, and so you're staying the night there. And so, that detention pay, should be paid after 2 hours, I think, to the driver, because we're sitting there waiting, and you have to, like, you can't be in your sleeper because you're having to call people and see, has it came across the border yet. We're still waiting. It's been 5 hours now, 5 hours into your time, so now that's 5 hours you can't drive, and you've wasted just about a full day waiting on product.
I don't think we should not get paid for 2 hours, because guess what, that on duty line that I have to mandatorily document, I mandatorily have to document my time. I should get paid for every second. Okay, that's how, when you're worth that. I want y'all to know, if you listen, that you worth your time. We're talking about our time away from our families. Y'all just said away from your kids, away from home, unsafe environments. Not what every second you should be getting compensated for your time, as well as, like, and they, as someone spoke about, compared to the military, compared to these other services. And I'm just saying this because there's a lot of people who are gonna watch this, and I want to make sure that what we say, we mean. I don't want to work for 2 hours for free. Do y'all?
No, we have a 70-hour work week. Where? I mean, besides like a doctor or a nurse, somebody working in the emergency room, that's a long day. Could be able to drive 11 hours within the 14-hour period. The rest of the 14-hour period, we might be working.
Absolutely.
When you break it down, if you break it down for like when you're actually getting paid and divide that by how many hours, is usually not as glamorous as what people think that we're making out here.
It's actually under minimum wage when you think about all the time that you put in there. And so that's why we have to speak about these things, and we really got to not just go with what the industry told us. You know how much time and money that I didn't get? I want my money. So get me that on duty pay.
Get your money back, America.
Absolutely, to all the truck drivers. And I'm going to tell you why. Because one mistake, one accident, your time stops.
Someone said something powerful from a Facebook user, said dock workers are getting paid to load and unload the truck. So why should we sit in a docks for free?
Absolutely.
And also these taxes and different things they're coming up with us to get a sticker for what? Because then we already paid lifter, then we already paid. It's like they keep coming up with different things for us to have to pay, like the I'm trying to think of the word. Even when you're going through different states, the tolls, all of that.
Well, I know locally we get paid. We get paid the pre-trip. We get paid for every second, every minute we sit in. It doesn't matter if we broke down on the side of the road. We still getting paid. That's the good benefit of being local. So I just agree with you, ladies. Also, everybody should be getting paid. Not why locally getting paid. So why can't over the road still get paid? Everything
should be universal.
And that would attract more women into the industry. That would definitely attract more women into and more men as well. And so I got 3 questions. We're going to go over our time because I got to get these out. And these last 3 questions, okay? Okay, everybody can unmute. Let's just, one of the questions is, give me a safety tip that we can use to give the women out here. So just give one safety tip, everybody. We'll start with Miss. Okay, go ahead, Miss.
I just be aware of your surroundings. I think somebody said it earlier. Just keep your head on a swivel, and nobody messes with me. I'm little, and nobody messes with me, and I'm not afraid. But I'm not walking into the truck stops on my phone. I'm not fueling, looking at my phone. I am paying attention and just walking with a lot of confidence and just being aware of my surroundings. And it's simple, but it's very effective.
I got one. If you have animals like I do not get out after dark or in an area that you don't look safe to walk your dogs. Don't go behind, in between your trailers, and go behind where nobody can see you. Always make sure that you're out in the open, where there's people around before you start walking your dogs.
And I say speak up. Don't be afraid to talk and discuss things that's happening and that's going on. If they not taking care of it, move on to the next step, the higher uh, person that's in charge. Do not be afraid to talk.
Drive solo.
Mhm.
If you
Park
are a
somewhere that's
woman,
lit, like the closer you get to a building.
hello.
I can hear y'all. Go ahead.
Oh, you can hear me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. What I was gonna say is drive solo. If you come out here, you are a woman, unless you have another woman that you know that you can team and partner with. Please don't ever drive with anybody. I don't care what these companies tell you. You're better off driving solo and doing the best that you can to learn on your own. It's just too much of a risk. There's been a lot of things that have happened in the past where people have been way too trusting with thinking that the company has eyes and ears on their person at all times and nothing can ever happen to you. So that's one thing that I want to say is you have to be a little bit, just be a little smarter when you come out here. Drive, get with a company that's okay with you driving solo, or bring a friend with you or a relative that can drive with you too.
But you do have to team because you don't just because you got to the don't mean you know how to drive. You be tearing these equipment up. You tear equipment up. And so you need some help. You need somebody who's gonna show you these roads, teach you how to go down the Cabbage Patch, down West Virginia, and get home safely. And so you have to team first, and then you can drive. Choose to go solo, like I did. I teamed and went solo and been
Yeah,
solo.
like I had training with the company first. We had about 3 months on the truck with a certified trainer or mentor, and then I was able to drive solo.
Absolutely. And I do want to talk about and go back. I said I was going to ask that question about training with the trainer. I can keep you out here all day because I love y'all. And I love this conversation. And if you're loving it too, put some hearts in the comments. And I want to take the time and say thank you, everyone who is watching. This is the International Women's Month special edition panel with 11 phenomenal women in trucking. And I want you to give us some love in the comments if you're loving this conversation like I am. And I totally agree. If you definitely have to protect yourself when you're going through training. Let's talk about that because that's the biggest safety that I see. I see most women getting sexual harassed, or even raped in the truck when they're going through training. So let's talk about, and that's normally abuse come in at that time. I've seen different fights, got all kind of emails, y'all. So let's really talk about that. And let's talk about when you with that trainer.
There are some companies though that they have the trainers not set up as a team. They have them set up as side by side. And if it's opposite sex, they will put one of the people in a hotel room during the whole training period.
Can you name some of those companies, please?
I went through Schneider and that's how they ran it.
Okay. Awesome. And let's just be specific, y'all, because people need these tools and resources as they are entering into the industry. And this is information for people, right? So some of the companies I'll tell you to stay away from before they tell you the companies to go to. I'm just going to tell you, so don't mention this one. CR England, CST, and Covenant. Those are the companies that have the highest sexual assault and rape. And I've been able to pick up women I've had to pick up women at those companies myself from those situations. So let's name some of those good companies that they should be going to, like Prime and Inc. and those of that nature. Go ahead, Miss Cindy. Or
Right. The other thing I hear from drivers, on my show, I talk to drivers, and they sometimes don't want to share it on the air, but they'll even say that when they set up with the trainer, that they have an agreement in place that they're going to stay in a hotel, and then the trainer will stay in their truck. So they have that established. That's company policy. But over and over and over, I hear those trainers want to come into the hotel room and take their shower, and they're bullying those drivers to come in there and take their shower. And I'm like, they're like, I'm gonna come in your hotel room and take a shower. I'm like, no. And that's common. I've heard that from multiple women. So I don't know the companies that do that, but even that in itself is not necessarily a safety issue. So those things got to get reported. So, and that's a new driver who just got out of school and she's trying to get a job, and she doesn't want to raise a stink, and trying to make trouble. I mean, it's a big deal because what are you going to do?
So let's be specific once again and name some actual companies that women should go to when starting their career in the transportation industry. Because there's somebody right now listening that is online getting ready to sign up for school. And I want you to be so specific that they become successful, they get their CDL, and they tell you that they was inspired by you on the She Trucking podcast.
My first company that I went to was Stevens Transport.
That's a great one.
And it absolutely was. So the trainers, they have everything already, set up, because they know when you get there, you don't know anything, and you're not about to get out here and tear up my equipment, get in this truck with this trainer. And I was just like, okay. So I had two different trainers. But I had the option. They give you the option of whether you want, if you don't feel comfortable, you can wait on a female trainer. Or if you feel like you're going to be okay, you're comfortable enough, you can just go ahead with the male trainer if it's not that big of an issue. But that's one of the companies that actually gives you the option, so that, it's they know that our safety is important, and they know what's going on, they know what's happening in the industry. The culture of the industry is changing because more and more of us are getting out here, and sometimes people don't like it, but they're doing their jobs, at the time. If you're Sometimes you might have a trainer that is a trainer, but they don't really they're not catching on to the culture, is changing. We're out here. So they might take out their aggression on you if you get in a truck with somebody. That's something to think about. And they've been cracking down on, well, when I was there a couple of years ago, they were cracking down on what's being reported, what's not being reported, what's being talked about. We want to know about the gossip so we can check up on that too. So it was very good for me as a woman to go there.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I've heard a lot of great things about Stevens, CFI, Prime Inc. We have like Miss D Silva. If y'all don't know who Miss D Silva is, y'all better Google. Okay, y'all better Google her, because she's another pioneer in the industry who's been in there, 30, 40 years. And so she is over Prime. I think she's a director over the CDL program at Prime. So she's one of the first people who you come in contact with at Prime Inc. And CFI is actually sponsored the She Trucking Expo in 2021, and they have a CFI of women, like and I always look for programs that have women programs, like Highway Diamonds and CFI Women, and like these are great companies like Steven Transport. And am I missing something? I started at Swift. Swift wasn't that bad, y'all. To be honest, it was really good.
Decent. And Swift allowed me to choose if I wanted to go with a woman or a man, and I waited for a woman. So
absolutely. So hopefully this helps you, if you're listening in, to be able to get started in the industry. You don't have to wait. A lot of the companies that we just named, they free to go to, right? So you don't even have to pay anything up front, but you will be on a contract that you have to drive for them for at least a year. Now, if you decide you want to break that contract, like I did that. I broke my contract. Okay, it's okay because though there are other companies who have tuition reimbursement that will pick up that loan that you have and you can continue it out. And so I just want y'all to know that y'all have options. You do not have to settle. If you don't feel like you are getting the fair treatment that you need, if you don't feel safe, if it's not the right situation, you don't have to settle. But first, get your experience. If you can stay at a company for about a year or 6 months, then your career in the industry is very, very successful. It's very bright. And so get your experience, y'all. Definitely get your experience. Don't be naive when you come out here. Okay. Don't be so friendly either. Someone told when I first started, they said, you can't smile as much. You're going to stop smiling. And I said, and I realized that I used to put headphones in my ears so I wouldn't, pay attention to the people who was around me. Of course, I'm looking around, but I didn't want to talk to nobody. So I put those earphones in my ear. Now, when I saw other women, I got excited. Hey, girl, hey, but because it is dangerous out there when you walking from the back of the truck stop to the front. If you don't have that front row or in a well-lit place when you park in that truck. So y'all have anything to add on that topic? Because I got two more and one or two more.
I wanted to say that that's probably a way or a way to get more women to come into trucking if they had something specifically for when they're training to train with other women or give them the choice of who their trainer is or what sex their trainer is.
Absolutely. So we have seen a lot of progress, as you see, in the trucking industry. We have learned that it has been a lot of progression in the industry from technology to, I remember when I was the only woman at my whole company. Then I realized I was the only woman in the state of Tennessee at one point. Now I'm just playing. I felt like it though. It really did feel like it because it would be months until I saw another woman. And so now the industry has changed. More women are in the industry and it has really progressed. And we're going into now autonomous trucks and different technologies. And I want to touch on that before we go. We're getting ready to wrap up. And so I want to talk about what do you see transportation going in the next 5 to 10 years? Let's start with Miss Melinda.
Well, with the automated trucks, I could see those going for the over the road, the long haul, and having more local positions for the short haul and in cities.
And as I bring y'all up, I want you to talk about if you have received resources on how to be trained, because I want to drive one. I want that truck to drive for me. I'm gonna be honest. I want to drive for me. And one day I'm gonna be in that truck and I'm gonna be sitting back like this. Y'all gonna see my arms up in the air, and I'm gonna let that truck drive that truck. But do we know how to get qualified to do it? And I think that's the piece that they're missing right now as the industry is changing, is the education. As we know, trucking ain't been the best place for education, right? They don't give you no book on how to start, nothing but to get your CDL. They don't give you a manual to tell you how to be an owner operator, and they ain't giving you no manual yet to tell you some, the resources. But I know it does require credits. So as you answer this question, I want you to talk about, have you received the resources? Do you know what's required to be in that next 5 to 10 years and what you think about it?
So you putting it on me? You asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So did you see my face? I do not know how to be trained. The resources to do that, I don't, not at all know how to do that. I do think that it's going to be wonderful. It's going to cut down on our fatigue. I want to be like frying bacon in the back while it's driving. Like, yeah, that's what's up. I like the idea of it.
And really quick, because we over 2 minutes. So what about you, Miss Mona?
I I think it's dangerous. Just because I've been out here so long. I don't know really what they're looking at gaining with the the automatic trucks because you have to still have someone from what I understand in the truck. So rather they're over in the passenger side with a computer, and then you do have, from what I've seen a few, you have a human person behind the steering wheel just in case it does malfunction, which I have seen some videos that they do. Um, I wouldn't want to be in one. I wouldn't want to be nowhere. When I see them going up and down the road already, it's like, no, because computers malfunction. But you still have the driver over there, and I don't know why they would put him over there doing it by computer when he could be back here. So that's just my take on it.
Miss Bree, really
I'm
quick.
sorry.
Yeah, would you like to drive an autonomous truck, and do you know what's required to do that?
That question. Um, I I don't really know too much about those trucks. I've heard about them, but I like the feel of actually being the driver because I feel like if I get in a truck and as much I don't have to do as much as I do now, it's gonna make me miss my experience. Like I got in this truck, I went over the road, I stepped out on faith. Like that's just a part of my whole story. So for me to drive a self-driving truck would it just wouldn't sit right with me. Like I always want to get back in a truck where I have control over so much more because that's where I started. And it would take growth. Like it would take growth for me to venture out into something like that. I'm just not there yet. But neither are they, so you never know.
Miss Renee, unmute.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of like not sure how to answer this. It kind of freaks me out. I saw one of those autonomous cleaning mechanisms in Walmart, and I was freaking out. Like nobody's in this thing; it's just driving. What is this? So, I think it's very risky. Like Bree, I really like the feel of driving. I like to drive a stick. I like even in my car, it's an automatic, and I'm all like, wait, nothing's here. My hand's on the thing the whole time. So yeah, that would just be weird. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll be phased into a different part of trucking by that time.
Yes. Miss Shauna.
Hi. So, my take on that is no for me. I don't like the braking system that they have in the trucks now. Um, that sensors when you get too close to an object or just from a distance, it stops and brakes on its own, and it stalls me. So um, for them to have that anonymous trucks coming out, I don't see it happening. Not a lot anytime soon.
Well, I just want to say it's been here, and it's here, and we are in this time. So I want to wake you up on today, and I'm glad we're talking about this because we had an autonomous truck driver here on the She Trucking podcast. Well, we have the podcast every Sunday. We have it on Mondays with Nicole and Miss Jerry. She talks about the future of freight on Wednesdays. So I want you to pay attention as we had what was her name? Lord, it just slipped my mind. I'll just tell you, we had a lady who is on. She's on the FMCSA board as well, the Women of Trucking Advisory Board. But I think her name was it Monique Jones? Oh, don't quote me, but yeah, actually it was Marquita Jones. I'm sorry, Marquita Jones, and I'll pop her up in a minute once I find the flyer. But she's out there driving autonomous trucks right now, and I want you to tune in. You can go on YouTube and rewatch the show, and that's why this is a very important what we're doing today, because where are you getting your information from? You have to be able to tune in to outlets that's going to tell you futuristic things so you can be prepared. Because if you're not prepared now, you're going to be unemployed in 10 years when they come in and wipe us out with jobs. This year we have, it's literally, you can look this up, and or I'll pull it up right here on the live. This year we have had the biggest increase of drivers who are unemployed. Have y'all saw that in the news? Check it out. Okay. It is the most in the history. It's record breaking. Okay. From the SEP programs that are here. If you don't know what that is, that's if you fail a drug test and you cannot get a company to take you on no more. And from also just it's a wake. I need everyone. I'm not talking to the people on the panel. I'm just talking to everyone, the whole world. Wake up. I need you to wake up, because the first time I seen an autonomous truck, and Miss Mona, we saw that Starskis back in 2016, or maybe 2017. And during the pandemic, y'all know that they was out there with us. So if you think that they're not coming to replace you, they coming, and they coming faster than we can imagine. So I want you to do your research. I want everyone to do their research right now at this moment, because this is what you have to pay attention to. And that's why this panel was so important as well, and the podcast is so important. Yes, Marquita Jones, that's her name, with Life on the Road. Miss Jerry from Life on the Road Recruiting actually interviewed her. And so I really want you to educate yourself. She is a minority woman in the autonomous trucks. Okay. I really want you to take the time on your 10-hour breaks and start doing research. I want you to put the apps like Freight Waves on your phone, CDL Life, different media outlets that's telling you what the future of freight is looking like. Well, it looks like, what's the future of trucking it looks like. But on the last note, I want to go from top to bottom, and I want everyone to share what you love about trucking. Okay. So tell me what you love about trucking. And then after that, we're going to close out. I'm going to let Dr. Tina also acknowledge our guests that's in the audience as well, and give us a closing statement as well. Dr. Tina, I want you to take us out, but I want everyone to give their last closing statement. I want you to, if you want them to follow you or whatever, then you can throw it out there. Yeah, and thank y'all. Thank you for coming in and showing up, because y'all are the future. Okay. And I want you to know that if you be prepared, you will be in this industry for a very long time. The only person who is not going to be is people who are not prepared. And let's prepare to be in the office somewhere. Let's prepare, to be able to figure out, what does it take? What is it going to take? These colleges also, I just want to add this, they are starting to implement the autonomous truck credits. It takes 12 credits to get qualified. So you're talking about, not only do I need to graduate, a lot of people who are in this industry, they don't even have a high school diploma or a GED, a lot of people. And so just think that's going to knock them out.
Yep.
Okay, because they didn't finish school. So they have to, now you're looking for college graduates to get additional training. And it will require, I think it does now require you to have that CDL, and a lot, like Miss Mona, someone said earlier, it is one person in a truck right now, but they also, if you pay attention, sometimes it's a truck in the beginning, a truck in the front, a truck in the back, and there's one in the middle. The one in the middle don't have nobody in it. So really pay attention while you out down the road of these trucks. But before we go into this, I'm gonna just play this video, because I got to drive a Volvo truck. It's a 2023, and it was a Volvo I-Torque. So I want to play the video that I from Volvo that they put together. It's a series of videos. This truck was made by a trucker, and this was the best truck that I had ever drove. And so I want to play this for you, and then afterwards, I want you to think about your last closing statement and tell us, what do you love about trucking, or leave us with a quote. So Joel Morrow, I want you to definitely check out the Volvo North America on YouTube, and you'll be able to understand the different technologies that was in that truck. And when I tell y'all, it was the best truck I had ever drove. It really was. So, Dr. Tina, I want you to chime in for me, and I'm gonna step back a little bit and let you go ahead and give us some energy.
All right. Well, I'll go through some of the comments, and then I'm gonna go all the way around the room so you guys can tell us what do you like about trucking, and any closing words of what you want our audience to do, follow you, and all that good stuff like that. So let me give a shout out to all the hearts that we're getting, and we have the Anna L's Brothers Show in the building. Say good evening, ladies, and we have another Facebook user saying great evening, queens. And we already know this is the young lady who actually drives the autonomous trucks. And we have Life on the Road Recruiter with Miss Jerry. She said, yes, preach, Sheree. And we have another Facebook user who said, you are just full of knowledge, queen. And so what I want you guys to do right now, I am going to start around the room, and I want you guys to tell us, what do you love most about trucking? What keeps you coming back, even though you know it's some things that need to be fixed in the industry, but it still pull you back? Something about that trucking. Let's start with Melinda.
The road healed parts of me that I didn't know were broken, and that this, we all drive a truck, but we all drive the truck as diverse as we are. There's a million ways you can run your clock. There's no one way you have to do it. And the freedom of not having someone always over your shoulder, even, asking questions like when you're working in an office space. So, I mean, in short, just the freedom and the diversity.
Love it. Love it. Freedom and diversity. I love when you can pull two words or something to hold on to. So next we're going to have Renee. Tell us what keeps you coming back to the trucking industry as a mom of two young children, which can be difficult, but you still come back. So tell us why.
Well, I really like a good challenge. I actually really love backing in the trailers, just backing trailers. It's every time I do it, I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm really good at this. Like, especially because in the beginning it was like, am I ever going to be able to do this? Once you like challenge yourself to do something you never thought you could do, like it's so empowering. And yes, the freedom of the road. It's peaceful. The sunsets, the seasons changing, the colors in the trees and plants, and just the friendly faces and people you see around sometimes.
Oh, wow. All right. I love it because you can actually see the world. I have heard many truckers say trucking opened them up to see the world. You look at the world in different lenses because you'll be able to see the seasons change. You'll be able to see different things that we don't see. And so next, let's say with Cindy. Tell me what keeps drawing you back with the box trucks.
Well, I started and I had a simple prayer to God. I said, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next in my career. And I said this simple little prayer. I said, I'd really like to be my own boss. And the very next day, somebody presented me the idea of starting a trucking company. So I was like, okay, I got to look into this because this might be God leading me. And so I did a little research and I hopped in and, it was crazy. I didn't know anything about the industry, but I love the opportunity to travel. I mean, I'm a travel junkie. I love being able to get out of the truck and see great places. And I love connecting with different people that I meet on the road. I host a podcast, Enjoying Life OTR, and I'm just celebrating the men and women that are trucking and just enjoying this lifestyle because I've met so many amazing people doing so many great fun things. And then when I have do a reset and I have 34 hours that I need to go do something fun and just go explore. And my favorite search ever is waterfalls near me. I always love to see where there's a place where I can get my feet in the water somehow and go hiking and exploring. I love to be at the beach. So I'm always looking for a way that I could get out and do those things. Because, so for me, it's a travel addiction. I really love it. I feel like I'm funding my travel addiction and getting to do some fun things. And, this country is amazingly beautiful. And there's so many places that I, have been able to see that I wouldn't be able to do. And that's really honestly the reason why I drive a box truck. Everybody always asks me, why don't you get your CDL? And I'm like, well, because, I can take my truck into some places that I can't take a big rig. And I do sacrifice some money because I know there's more money available. I always say buy the biggest truck you can afford. Do it if you want to do it. But for me, it's the travel. So I'm driving a smaller truck so I can get out and explore and just enjoy this great country. My kids are grown, so I have the freedom to get out and go. And I love being able to negotiate my own rates and decide where I want to go. And, if I want to go to Tennessee or Washington or, I get to make that decision. And that's important to me. And at this stage of my life, I don't want to be micromanaged like everybody else said, but I want the freedom to go. So it's been great for me, and I love it. I'm hooked.
All right. Well, thank you. You love that travel freedom. So now we're gonna have Bree. Bree, what keeps you coming back for more?
I feel free. I feel free like the lady in Set It Off Free. When Jada Pinkett Smith was standing there and he asked her, do you feel free? Yeah, I feel free. I absolutely feel free. And this is something that women should get into more so than not, even if you don't stay out here, because you always have something. Even if you go and you have another career, you can use this career to fund what you really want to do. So it's not like something like I don't look down on people when they come out here. I'm one of the people that might be out here, but I might not stay out here. You never know because there's so many options. Like the a lot of the things that Miss Sheree Moore was touching on, you have the option to move around in this industry. You might be a driver 1 year, and in a couple of years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you might be working in the office or doing something else within this industry. So that's why I love it, because there's a sense of stability but mobility, because you can still be in this industry and move around. You have options.
I love it. Stability and mobility, honey. That need to be a t-shirt. Okay. All right, that need to be a t-shirt. Speaking of t-shirts, let's go over to Shauna, who actually made t-shirts. So what keeps you coming back for more?
Hey, what brings me back is the challenge. I love a challenge. I love to see the faces light up when they see a woman out here trucking. Um, I don't see a lot of women myself, and I'm as me being local, I don't see enough women out here trucking. And I know that it needs to be more. Even with the company that I drive for, they just always praise me so much and say, "Oh, I wish that we could just clone you. Oh, we wish we could just clone you." And that's what brings me back. I love a challenge. I always wanted to do it, so I want my family. I'm the person that my family to do trucking, and I love it. And I love learning and teaching others. So.
All right, the first one in your family. I mean, kudos to you,
Yeah.
making a new tradition. Next, we're gonna
Mhm.
have Teresa. What keeps you coming back for more? You're on mute, Teresa. Let's see. Unmute. Okay, good. What? All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
now. Okay,
Okay.
it would be not being micromanaged. I think you all said that. I got cut off. So not being micromanaged. And like it's an adventure. Like every day is different. Um so that's what brings it back. And I like that I'm able to do different things. There's so many different things I can drive everything. I'm getting my pilot's license next. Gonna be flying planes. So I like that I could do taker, I can do hazmat, I could do drive away where I don't pick up freight and don't have to be bothered with nobody. Go pick up the equipment, drop the equipment off, and get to the next piece of equipment. So I like that I'm able to. It's still in the same industry, but I can do different things and not get bored. So that's why the autonomous truck thing, I need to look into that because that to me that helps me. I'm growing. I have to be growing in something. If I'm not growing, I get miserable. So this is really helping helping me to do that.
I love it. I love it. And one thing that I heard, one word is growing. Oh, and another one, you don't like to be bored, and you will not be bored in the transportation industry because it's so many different things that you can do that it's endless. And now we're gonna get our veteran in the building that been doing this. We have saw many transitions of this industry and how it changed and how it grows. So what makes you keep coming back? You already raised your children and now you have your grandchildren, Miss Mona. So what makes you come back or stayed? No, not come back. What made you stay? Uh-oh, I think we lost her.
We'll come back to her.
Come back to her.
That'll be a great closer because what will make you stay in this industry for 30 years?
She's back.
Yep. I'm
Wait,
back.
wait,
I'm
wait.
back.
I want you to go last because I'm curious to know what will make you stay for 30 years. Because some people don't make it a year.
6 months.
Yeah. So I want to save you for last. Let's go to Miss Renee. I know you knew, so let's go to Miss Renee.
Oh, I think I already went. I did go.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
But I did want to add that somebody said they're like busybody. Yeah, I need to be on the go. I can't stay one place too long. But yeah, so I think everybody went. Yeah.
Awesome.
Everybody went.
And Miss Mona.
I sometimes I ask myself why do I keep coming back, to be honest. But no, I absolutely have it's in my blood. It's almost like a blood transfusion, and I'll try to stay home. I've had some jobs to where, I would try to stay home, but I miss it. I miss the journey. I miss the beauty of it, of the challenge, even sometimes, when I'm on the side of the road, I'm breaking down, it's just in my blood, and I've done it for so long. It's it's to me, it's like a lot of the ladies said, the freedom of it. For me, a lot of times was my safe haven. Um, because I'd get involved in stuff at home, bad relationship maybe or something, and I had to get back in the truck because this is something that I love to do. I love meeting people. Actually, I would say it's my calling. It's I've tried to do other things and I can't, just make it work. And then, when I come back out here, it's my comfort zone, it's my calling, and I meet so many different people. I get to pray for people. I get to encourage them. I like Sheree says, I'm a hugger. I want to, I want to know how is your day. If I see someone sitting at the table and they're by themselves, I say, hey, can I, you need some company? Let's talk. Um, it's just so it's just such a amazing way to minister, and like I said, so many people. I want to leave with putting a smile on your face. I want to leave with you encouraged. Um, you know, if I overhear somebody's birthday, I want to go in there, I want to buy them a rose, I want to buy them a card or something, and say, here, I overheard it was your birthday. Just I'm such a giver. I just want to give myself to so many people, um, and just let them sense and feel the love of God that He wants me to share with people. And it just makes me um it just such a gratitude, you know, to be able to do the job that we do, and to see all of these beautiful women coming on, and getting a grip of driving and their freedom, and travel, and things like that. I mean, that's just that can't get better than that. Cannot get any better than that.
Absolutely. And just to close out, y'all are why I'm here. Because let me tell you, I quit in my first year. I quit in my second year. I quit in my fifth year. I said, I'm done. I announced I'm done. But because you are here, I'm here. Because I see so many women inboxing and saying, hey, I want to get my CDL. Hey, if you could do it, I could do it. I'm 5'3", y'all. And I'm like, hey, you can do it. You can do it. And there's a lot of us out here that's 5'3" too. And we do it every single day. And so we are here for you. And I want to also invite you to continue to stay with us every Sunday on the She Trucking podcast, as we highlight so many different topics in the industry. Tomorrow we actually had a She Trucking podcast. It's gonna be with Rowena. She's gonna be talking about that. If you interested in talking about that owner op, how to be compliant, all of that, that's the person for you. She's gonna probably talk about insurance, different ways to, get a cheaper premium rate. And then we have the She Trucking Takeover. Okay. And it's going to be by Nicole Ward, who is the CEO of African American Women Trucking Association. And so she did a She Trucking Takeover, and that's going to air live on April the 1st. And then we have Miss Teresa right there on she's gonna be on the 2nd. So we'll be able to dig deep and go a little bit more in detail with her on what she do in the transportation industry. And we have Miss Gabrielle Simmons. Miss Gabrielle Simmons is one of the women I met out here on the road that has pivoted from trucking into real estate. Okay. And so she's going to be coming and talking about her experience. She was a tanker driver. And I jumped out that truck. I said, I ain't never seen a woman drive no tank. I was so excited to see that, because a lot of women, we just get stuck in that drive-in. So venture out and do different types, carry different types of trailers, light tankers and heavy hauling and other, different types of equipment. But I'm so thankful for each and every one of you joining us today. I am so thankful. I done cried y'all and everything. And another reason they keep me going, I must think truck on my arm. So y'all don't do that. Don't put a truck on your arm, and you here to stay, and you here forever. So, but y'all are the reason why I'm here. So keep on trucking, ladies. Keep on empowering others. Y'all are phenomenal. Okay, keep speaking up and speaking out, because wow, I'm excited about the future of trucking. I really am. And thank you, Dr. Tina, for helping host this panel. And just
you're welcome. And let's not forget our sponsors before we wrap up.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna take y'all off the screen because I know y'all are busy. I'm cutting into some of y'all 10-hour break. And so, I just want to say thank you. I think that's the problem in this industry. We don't hear thank you enough, right? And so, hey, if you at the company, thank your drivers. Get them a gift card, okay? Especially on their birthdays, holidays, get them gift cards, get them some different. Listen, give them the gift card to go out to eat on their 10-hour break. And thank you so much to all the women who was on here tonight and joined us. Matter of fact, Tina, give me a closeout. Let me do it. Let me do it. The CTR Media. If you don't know, Tina has the Tina Ramsey Show. Okay, I want you to definitely tune in as well. She goes talks about a lot of topics that we face as women, whether it's relationships or health in different situations like that. But Tina, I want you to give us a closeout before we bring these ladies off the screen because she is so powerful, y'all. I just gotta get her to get it out real quick.
Okay, ladies. So the whole gist of why we doing what we're doing is for you to be able to have a platform to be able to come share what you do and also just to be yourself, because remember, I am you and you are me. And so everyone on this earth has a purpose, whether you realize it or not, and it's tied up with your story. We heard all of your individual stories of how you overcame despite the odds, how you had to go through different family situations, how to maneuver and balance being a mother, how to be in a male dominated industry and still let your light shine and don't allow others to dim your light in the process while keeping yourself safe. So I want to just thank you for taking the time, because I know you're busy, from your busy schedule, coming in, pouring into us. And for those of you who are watching and listening right now, if you are a woman or a minority trucker and you're looking for support, you're looking for a community that's here to help you, these are some of our members in the She Trucking community that are there, that are assisting, and that the sisterhood, okay? You don't have to be alone in this industry. And we want you to know how much we appreciate you. And we want you to know that we love you. I don't have to know you personally to say that I love you, because I love all of you. Okay. And I appreciate, and you are essential. Okay. If COVID didn't teach us anything else, it showed us who are really essential workers. And we need you. So thank you. Join the She Trucking community on today. It's a free community, but also She Trucking has memberships and affiliate opportunities for you who, if you're a business owner, you want to be able to connect and be able to have more like a partnership situation going on. You can go and check it out at shetrucking.com. That's shetrucking.com, and go and check it out today. Have courses, classes, all different kind of things to help you on your journey of the transportation and trucking industry. Sheree really have you covered, along with our amazing team that's in the She Trucking community. So check it out today. It's free. And then you can look at other opportunities if you want to partner with the She Trucking business or brand or foundation. Ladies, thank you so much. We want to make sure that we give a shout out to all of these sponsors that we have, because all of them are absolutely amazing. So we have relay payments. Okay, so you want to get that too. We're talking about fuel. It's a $250 fuel giveaway. And how do you enter? You tag a minimum of 2 owner-operator friends under this post or this live video, and then you download the Relay app via the link in the bio. So this is a way to kind of cut those costs and also be able to help you, because Relay is just the way to go. Okay, just check them out, the sponsors. So what's our next sponsor? Yes, we have True TMS. You lose 100% of the short glasses you don't take. So make sure to check them out. They help you with load management, reports, and back office, driver dispatch management, and so much more. Check them out. They are a supporter of She Trucking, one of the sponsors. They have amazing opportunities for you. And we also have, that's the cup.
This is the shot glasses that they say take a shot, that all of our panelists will get. And they're She Trucking boxes for being on this panel. So I'm so excited.
Don't forget about our other one, Shikara Spirits.
Sakari Spirits. I don't listen, do not drink and drive, disclaimer. But I will say, for the woman-owned, minority-owned spirit company, check out Sakari Spirits. It's my favorite. It's my favorite.
You can do it on your downtime, people. On your downtime.
Park the truck when you're at home and relax, okay? So, but listen, be responsible. Disclaimer: do not drink and drive.
Disclaimer. But thank you.
One last one. We get 30% off fuel.
All right. So relay payments, we get $30 free fuel for She Trucking members. Did you hear that? You just need to be a member in She Trucking for free, and you get $30 off plus additional discount at the pump on your first transaction with Relay using the code SAVE30. That is the code SAVE30. So go ahead and join our free community on today and tomorrow. Make sure to tune in at 7 p.m. CST. And for those of you who are on Eastern Standard Time and like myself, that's 8 p.m. EST on the She Trucking Podcast Live. Tomorrow, Sheree Moore will be hosting for us. Rwana, she is going to be here teaching us all about her consulting business and so much more, and also helping you through some of the challenges that you can face in this industry. But she has the solutions. Also, for those of you who want to know more about podcasting and how we do what we do with the She Trucking Podcast, as well as the Tina Ramsey Show, come on over to CTR Media Network and come into Atlanta. I said Atlanta, people, and come to the Power of Podcasts to experience a live taping of the Tina Ramsey Show, and also meet our sponsors, Pop Up and Create and LWO, baby, that is helping you be able to monetize what you do. We're going to have Sheree Moore on the panel helping us and so much more. So come on in, go to CTRmedianetwork.com.
Absolutely. And one last thing is, we have so many shows. Let me pop up. What we got? We got so many shows and so many days.
Yes, we do. And make sure to check out CTR Media Network podcasters. We have over 30 plus podcasters talking about every single topic that you can possibly think of, from female wellness to trucking, homeschooling, health and wellness, entrepreneurship, mindset development. The list goes on, even down to celebrity commentary. It goes on and on. Just make sure that you check out the She Trucking Podcast that is running Sunday, Monday, and Wednesdays. On Sunday, of course, we have the epic Sheree Moore. On Mondays, we're going to have the phenomenal Nicole Ward from BET, After Happily Ever After. And we have Miss Jerry on Wednesdays from Life on the Road Recruiting, that's going to be helping you get everything together. And I forgot to mention, Nicole Ward is from AAWTA, where she's going to be sharing different things in the trucking industry. So if you want to know more about trucking and keep this conversation going, which I know that you do, make sure to tune in 3 days a week, people, 3 days a week. And make sure to watch the replay. And don't just watch, hit that subscribe notification button and put a little comment down there. Like, follow, share, and subscribe.
Absolutely. I'm so full right now because when I started the She Trucking brand, and here we are going into 6 years. April the 1st. April the 1st will be 6 years. We have empowered almost 30,000 women in 6 years. And my dream was for women to be recognized. And today, women was recognized. Women are being recognized. Women are out here killing it. They out here trucking. And so I just want to say, keep on trucking. I'm so proud. Like I said, y'all, phenomenal women in trucking. These are phenomenal women in trucking. And so thank y'all for tuning in. Thank everyone. Thank you. Watch the replay, press replay, like, share, subscribe. Tina, I'm going to jump off and let you close out as well. Thank you so much to Dr. Tina J. Ramsey for being a part of our community, the best network in media, CTR Media Network. If you are interested in being a podcaster, if you're interested in doing things like this, you definitely want to reach out to get her mentorship. Mentorship is so important. It is so important in anything you do. Hold on. I'm sorry. So on that note, this is the She Trucking Podcast, season 4. We on episode 45. 45 episodes in the 4th season. I am Sheree Moore, the founder of She Trucking. My sister over here, Dr. I'll let you do your closeout.
I am Dr. Tina J. Ramsey, people. Let me stop. All right. And I absolutely love being a part of the She Trucking community. So make sure to tap into all the amazing, phenomenal ladies that was on the platform today, and make sure to go and gain access in the She Trucking community, which is a free community. And for those of you business owners who would like to participate and be able to collaborate with She Trucking with a potential affiliate partnership. We encourage you to check out the affiliate program at shetrucking.com. That is shetrucking.com to check out the opportunities that's available. And for those of you who would like to be featured, and you don't have to be a truck driver to be on this podcast, make sure to seize the opportunity. There's so many opportunities out here, and you just don't take it. This is the season to seize it and conquer it. We can't support you if we don't know that you exist. You have a purpose. You are worthy, and it's your time to shine. So thank you. I'm about to say, come share, shine, and grow on the Tina Ramsey Show, but I'm up here co-hosting She Tracking. All right, you guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to wrap it up with the CTR Media Network. So you can see some of our podcasts, and you know we got to go out with the She Trucking song, okay? So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. And we will see you guys on tomorrow. Yes, on tomorrow with the She Trucking podcast with Sheree Moore and Rwanda. Make sure to tune in. See you later. Bye. CTR Media Network is now accepting new podcasters to join our growing network that's reaching 350 million global listeners. Have you heard? CTR Media Network offers podcast production, podcast training, distribution, and product placement. Book us for your next event or schedule an interview with CTR Media Network podcasters today. To learn more, go to ctrmedianetwork.com.
King, can you read it for me, please? Thank you. What is that?
DJ Tony Dunn.
She gon' take care of her biz, she truckin'. She a woman with a rig, she truckin'. She gon' take care of her kids, she truckin'. Yeah, she a boss, she do it big, she truckin'. She truckin'. She a boss, she do it big, she truckin'. She a woman with a rig, she truckin'. She truckin'.
Go to teachermeet.com and purchase my book.